This podcast is a proud member of Pod Nation Media Network.
Live from the KIJU studios in beautiful Ogasawara, it's the Monster Island Film Vault, episode 110, Ultraman Zearth 1 and 2 versus Nick Hayden. Hello, kaiju lovers, and welcome to the Monster Island Film Vault, a podcast seeking entertainment and enlightenment through tokusatsu. I am your host, Monster Island's film curator, Nate Marchand. Yeah, sure. Keep reveling in bringing back your old mic, all right? Yeah, I know you love it. I know you love it. Yes, I know we warmed up today with Hardware Wars. Do you have to keep bringing that up? I don't believe you worked on that movie for a second. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. All right. We got a lot to get to today. Some other funny stuff, which is why we were warming up with Hardware Wars today. But I'm not here alone, as usual. Making his grand return after a long absence on MIFV is the co-host of Let's Finally Watch This, because that's the only podcast he has going on right now, because I guess he's just too cool for, to do more than one, because that's what I do. Anyway, please welcome back Nick Hayden.
Hello. There you go. That was simple.
Oh, really?
It just seemed real simple. Yeah.
Your grand return, and that's all you got.
Yep.
That's all you've got.
Okay, here we go. Salutations.
Oh,
all right.
We're going polysyllabic there.
Polysyllabic. We're sesquipedalian words today.
What? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, sesquipedalian is a long word that means you like long words.
Oh, okay. Maybe I've heard that at some point.
You like the perspicuity of my language.
Oh, oh my gosh. Jimmy brings up a good point. You've really elevated the show here.
If I only have one podcast, I have to make the words count. So.
Oh, yeah. When you get a writing assignment that says you write a flash fiction with 1,000 or fewer words, everything is minimum 5 syllables.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You need at least 5,000 characters. Yeah.
Twitter hates you.
Yeah. I hate Twitter as well. So we're good.
The feeling is mutual. Yeah. I'm still trying to get used to switching around and using the sound effects here, because Jimmy decided to surprise me and got me a new and improved soundboard that has things like air horns that I intend on abusing.
That's a great gift from Jimmy.
Well,
so Jimmy, does he deserve it? Yeah, I agree.
What? Come on, dude. I saved your life. All right? Do we need did you forget about that? How I let you have that one escape pod in Uber Mogra before it crashed? And took all of our other gear with it? I just survived, okay? Okay, you know what? You won't tell me how you survived the war in space. I'm not telling you how I survived the Uber Mogra crash. Ow.
Oh, you okay?
It's just a headache.
Oh, okay.
Just a headache. I swear I didn't hear thousands of voices suddenly be silenced in space.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a headache.
It's just a headache.
Yeah.
It's just a headache. Yes, I know it's a reference nobody's going to get. Anyway.
I got it.
We just watched it. Anyway, Nick, how did you get here, Nick?
How did I get here?
Because it's been a while.
It has been a while.
You tend to have some of the wackier stories about how you got here.
Nothing very exciting today. I was just, after lunch, I was brushing my teeth, lifted up randomly. Transportation, I know some sort of weird dojo. I was fighting with VR guys for a while. About 24 hours later, wake up in an alley. It was near your house. I'm like, well, I'm hungry and I'm beat up and I'm a little dirty. I'll go to Nate's house.
By my house, you mean the studio?
Yeah.
The KIJU. So you got hit in the head a little hard,
I really
apparently.
Don't honestly have any idea where I am right now.
Well, I think I've heard about this. It's something about what was it? It was like these flyers I was seeing around about like a ziggurat dojo and combat slaves.
I don't know. I guess it was kind of like playing virtual Nintendo. You know that old thing with the red lines.
I bet it was the VR Trooper recruitment office.
Oh, maybe that was it.
I bet that's
yeah.
what
Anyways, it's been a weird couple days. I don't know. Well, I ended up here, and you were kind enough to take me in.
Take you in.
Yeah.
Take you to the screening room. Remember the screening room? I missed the screening room.
Yeah.
Uber Mogura was a little cramped, I gotta say. And I had to watch the movies on a really tiny TV. It wasn't
that's not
fun.
a good way to watch a movie.
No, it wasn't fun.
No.
It wasn't fun at all. But speaking of the movies that we watched today, because yes, it's a double feature today.
It is a double feature.
Because both movies are only about an hour long.
Yes. Yes.
So we watched them together.
And they are related.
And I gave you popcorn because I always give you popcorn.
So for the first food I had in 48 hours, it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it was. But yes, we watched Ultraman Zearth because that's how it's actually pronounced. Although in Japanese they say Zearth.
Zearth.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I'm still going to say Zearth. It's supposed to rhyme with Earth. But we watched Ultraman Zearth 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
But not 3 because it doesn't exist.
There was supposed to be a 3.
But there's not.
But there is not a 3.
I don't know why. You probably do.
Kinda? But not really?
It didn't happen. I mean, it
didn't
film in
happen,
general.
and they made another movie instead.
Okay.
Which I'll get into that a little bit once we start really getting into this. Now, I brought you on. This is kind of going back to how the show initially started, where I was not necessarily bringing on people who were experts at something or really like this movie.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I want to bring you on and show you these movies.
So, yeah.
So
that's kind of my kick on my other podcast.
Yes.
Too. Like, I watch a movie I haven't seen before and say, is this any good?
Yeah.
But
So
those are classics. These are kaiju.
Yeah. Or this is kind of this is superhero.
Well,
too.
this one, that's true. Now we
the reason I brought you on for this is because the first time I watched these movies, my first thought was Nick would love these.
I'm honored.
It just seemed like these quirky,
they're quirky.
These quirky superhero comedies.
Yeah.
With a very traumatized protagonist.
Yep.
Who has to overcome his very strange foibles to defeat his enemies and absurdist humor and
his arch enemy of dirt.
His arch enemy of dirt.
Yeah. And Wilson.
Wilson. Wilson. Of that. Your brain makes the most wonderful connections.
That's not the only thing it's good for.
So if you're wondering what all of this has to do with Ultraman, we'll get to that. But yeah, so you're not an Ultraman fan.
I've not seen much Ultraman.
Yeah, you've heard me talk about Ultraman a lot.
I'm either a fan or non-fan. I just have not seen it.
Yeah. So this is kind of your first exposure to Ultraman. You might have the weirdest. No.
Yeah, I think it is my first exposure. Right? Yeah, I think so.
Unless you saw Ultraman Rising on Netflix or your kids
No, I did not. No.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm just saying that's a lot of people's entry point because that's very high profile.
The nearest thing like this is back in the olden days, the Power Rangers back in 90s. It has some of that feel.
Yeah, not quite the same.
No, but I mean,
yeah, but there is a lot. There's overlap.
That's the nearest exposure I had, I guess.
Okay. So you might officially have the weirdest first exposure to Ultraman ever. Now that I think about it, you watched the parody.
Well, yep. I think the second one helped me understand the first one better.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out there. But this, Kaiju Lovers, is all part of the reason why.
When super is just not enough.
Yep, this is the latest episode in our series, The Ultra Journey. As we're going through Ultraman movies, it should be noted, this is the, I should say, first Japanese-made Ultraman movie.
Okay.
To not be a clip show. Or not be entirely a clip show, I should say. technically the first Ultraman movie, which is a movie we're not covering this season, but I might in the future, was a 1985 movie called Ultraman Story that was half clip show, half new.
Okay.
But then the first Ultraman movie, which was our previous Ultra Journey episode, our first one, that was entirely original, was American made, but it was also animated.
Okay.
It was supposed to be the pilot for a TV show called Ultraman The Adventure Begins. So this is the first one that is entirely new. It's only an hour long, but it's entirely new. Completely new.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. So we have a lot to get into, including our Toku topic. Now, there's a funny story with this. I initially was going to research Hypochondria because I said, oh, this Ultraman is a hypochondriac. And then while I was doing some of my research, a very negative review, this reviewer hated these movies, brought up that his greatest enemy is, and I still don't know exactly how to pronounce it, Mysophobia. You were a Greek scholar in college.
It's been many years at this point.
Yeah, but so maybe you can help me out with that. But which is basically a fear of contamination. I'm like, actually, that makes way more sense.
Yeah,
it's just hypochondria or hypochondriac. It's such a common phrase. You just throw it out there. So they are not entirely the same, and we will get into that. I probably would have normally just stuck with Mysophobia because that makes way more sense for this movie. Maybe I should have researched PTSD while I was at it. Yes, I know. This is why he's your favorite Ultraman. Thought you were over that by now. It never goes away completely. Well, that just sounds a little depressing. Maybe Kaguya needs to kiss you a little more often. Okay, calm the heck down, dude. Okay, jeez. Goes back to his old microphone and just listen to him. Listen, this is what I got to put up with. Yeah. Be glad all you have to deal with is Tim.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah. So anyway, I have committed to the bit, and I'm just going to talk about both of them and illustrate how they are not entirely the same things, although I wouldn't be surprised if one could lead to the other.
Probably, or at least the same sort of root cause, yeah.
Yeah, actually, weirdly enough, as we'll get into, you'll see that. It makes me wonder if you'll be like, oh yeah, I've had moments like that, or I know people like that. Yep. Anyway, the other thing is going to be a little bit different today since we're doing a double header. You're going to get not one, but two entertaining info dumps, both of which, as I am contractually obligated to mention, were written by my intrepid producer, Jimmy from NASA. Going to get two of them. So we're going to do the entertaining info dump for movie one right now. Then we'll discuss movie one. And then we'll do the info dump for movie two, discuss movie two, and then get into the Toku topic.
Sounds good.
All right. Like I said, we got a lot to do. Let's do it. Katsuto Asahi, aka Ultraman Zearth, is a nervous but heroic low-ranking member of Mido, or Mysterious Yonder Defense Organization, who, along with his teammates, masquerades as a gas station attendant when they're not protecting the world from aliens and monsters. He suffers from crippling mysophobia, which often hinders his work as a Mido member and a superhero. He hopes to become a full member of Mido and perhaps win the affection of his teammate Toru by overcoming his fears. The sadistic and conniving Benzin, aka Akama Ogami, is an alien who comes to Earth to steal gold to create a medicine for his chronic illness. He does this in the guise of a human cameraman, sometimes visiting the Mido gas station to torture Katsuto for enjoyment. He's determined to accomplish his goal by any means necessary, including deploying his kaiju bodyguard, the obedient and seemingly mindless Cotton Poppy, aka Gold Bomber, who carries out numerous gold raids throughout the world to convert the metal into quote-unquote gold energy to transfer to his master. When Mido and Zearth attempt to stop his master, he battles the heroes to thwart their efforts. Shinpei Okochi is the bold but often rude captain of Mido who seeks whatever information and strategies he can use to successfully lead his team in missions to protect Earth from Benson and Cotton Poppy. By contrast, his vice captain is the neurotic and timid Futsukichi Konakai, who does his best to carry out Okochi's orders and co-lead missions, but he often overreacts in stressful situations. Toru Hoshimi is an honest but encouraging Mito member and Katsudo's secret love interest. While she has high standards for men, she tells Katsudo she believes he can rise to the challenge. The smart but often oafish Ganta Takamura is Mito's computer analyst and muscle. He not only examines data, but is also strong enough to move heavy vehicles during their missions. Midori is the efficient and helpful artificial intelligence Okochi consults to formulate combat strategies against Cotton Poppy. The human and kaiju plotlines run parallel, with the heroes, villains, and kaiju often interacting and responding to one another's actions throughout the movie. However, there is a mostly separate, mildly romantic subplot for Katsudo and Toru that ties into the main story. Benzin and Cotton Poppy are the problems in this movie. Benzin comes to the gas station several times and tortures Katsudo with dirt or grime, and despite intervention by Mito members, he always succeeds. While investigating an unusual mass on an island, Mito is attacked and defeated by Cotton Poppy. After Midori deduces that Cotton Poppy is consuming gold and has a weakness to fire, Mito lures the kaiju with gold nuggets and surrounds it with flames. But Cotton Poppy dismantles the trap and downs Skyfish 1. Toru, her brother, and several children are abducted by Benzin, and the rest of Mito deploys to rescue them. But their aircraft are knocked out of the sky by Cotton Poppy, who is guarding them. Zearth arrives, but Mito warns him that Benzin had the kaiju absorb gold from Earth's mantle, meaning that shooting him with his beam will detonate the monster and destroy the Earth, so Zearth refrains. However, Benzin creates a pond of tar to bar the Ultraman from reaching the hostages, with Cotton Poppy ready to blast him with lightning from his horn. Zearth wades through the muck, but he sinks into it. The problem is solved by Zearth with help from his human allies. The children and Mito cheer for Zearth, but it's not until Toru plays her flute that he flies out of the muck pond completely clean and fights Benzin and Cotton Poppy. He incapacitates the kaiju and launches the alien into space with a powerful kick. He then takes Cotton Poppy into space and blasts him with his beam, safely detonating the monster. The script by Shukei Nagasaka is a fairly simple sci-fi action comedy with a handful of characters and, as previously mentioned, one minor subplot. Despite an abundance of absurdist humor, it manages to maintain a steady focus. Budget figures are unavailable for the movie, but it was likely made with a modest amount of money. The special effects were supervised by Tsuburaya Productions veteran Koichi Takano, who utilized a variety of techniques, both old and new, for the mid-1990s. On the traditional side, Zearth, Benzin, and Cotton Poppy were mostly realized with suitmation on practical sound stages. Miniatures were used for cityscapes and some vehicles. CGI was used to create the Mito aircraft for the most part, as well as morphing effects for transformations. Midori's digital environment appears to have been created with green screens and CGI. Despite its short length, the Ultra Wiki reports that the movie has over 250 composite shots. Some location filmmaking helps add a bit more production value. Overall, while shot in widescreen, it looks a bit more like a high-quality TV movie for the time. This is a lighthearted comedy full of often over-the-top humor and outrageous characters, but Benzin's plot is treated with just enough gravitas to be taken seriously, and the relationship between Katsudo and Toru provides a little quote-unquote dramatic relief from the zaniness. With its alien supervillains, transforming hero, and high-tech vehicles and weapons, this is a fantastical sci-fi movie. While past Ultra series had comedic episodes and Zearth himself originated in comedy sketches, this was the first long-form Ultraman comedy. It was a massive departure meant to signal that this was a quote-unquote different Ultraman. In fact, Zearth himself was the first Ultra to have a debilitating flaw he had to overcome. It was also the first Japanese-made Ultraman movie to be entirely new footage, when most of the previous ones were purely compilation films. Only 1984's Ultraman Story, which had some new footage, was the exception. These all make Ultraman Zearth an expansion of style for the Ultra series. Even compared to its sequel, it remains largely unique in the franchise. The movie was made as part of a 30th anniversary triple feature called Ultraman Wonderful Festival that included Revive Ultraman, a redubbed clip show of the 1966 series, and Ultraman Company, a comedic anime short where Ultraman characters work at an office. It also continued the Idemitsu Kosan ad campaign that started with commercials featuring Zearth. However, it was meant to entertain a child audience, although it did appeal to the kids' parents who grew up watching the Ultra series. Box office figures are unavailable for the movie, but it was regarded as a success when released March 9, 1996 by Shogaku. It proved there was still interest in the franchise after a 15-year hiatus without any new live-action productions being made in Japan, which paved the way for the first Heisei TV series, Ultraman Tiga, to get greenlit. That being said, it got a mixed reception from both critics and audiences. Several forces are at play in this movie. Most obviously, Katsudo's Mysophobia hampers his job performance, relationships, and superhero duties. This is exploited by Benzen's sadism. Toru's desire for a strong man is repulsed by Katsudo's fears. Benzen's need for a cure to his illness clashes with humanity's right to Earth's resources, namely gold. Several Mido members are often hindered by their eccentricities. A woman wants to prove to everyone in the neighborhood that an aircraft flies out of the gas station sign, but everyone disbelieves her or is too distracted to see the obvious. Benzen finds destruction to be artistic, which is a comedic contradiction and possibly a meta-commentary? The movie has a handful of themes. Benzen's sadism and sheer rudeness is presented as villainous. Mido, despite their quirks, are heroic and determined to keep the world safe. They also, for the most part, respect Katsudo and want him to succeed. The neighbor lady is determined to prove the truth despite no one believing her. The children's, Mido's, and Toru's faith in Zearth gives him the power boost he needs to win. Most importantly, Katsudo/Zearth overcomes his crippling Mysophobia to beat the villains and not only save the world, but also join Mido and impress Toru. Time to discuss the first of our Zearth double feature in our Toku Talk. All right, Nick, I feel like this discussion needs to be kicked off with the question, which of these did you like more?
That's a little bit of a complicated thing because the second one was easier to follow because I had a sense of what, the first one, having watched the second one, kind of having not seen Ultraman, I'm like, okay, the first one makes sense, but the first one throws you in there. I'm like, what, how much of this stuff am I supposed to know and how much am I not supposed to know and how much of this is over the top and how much of this is normal?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will admit I've seen both of these before, but even I was just like, wait, what? Because it's been a while.
Yeah.
And so when this first movie starts and it's just raising a pirate ship, and I'm like,
yeah.
What?
The first one has just a lot of scenes for a while. You're just like, wait, what?
Davy Jones
on?
is not happy right now.
Well, like even when like Ultraman shows up the first time and he has mud on his hand, all this stuff, you're like, okay, he's Ultraman, but am I supposed to know it's that other guy? I mean, I can tell because of that, but it's like, why is he just hanging out here? He's a really bad Ultraman. He almost hurt himself. So,
and this is stuff I had warned you about beforehand too.
Yeah. Looking back, I think the first one's probably more entertaining in some ways, but the second one's probably more solid.
So, are you playing both sides here?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. They really go together.
They do.
I mean, so push comes to shove. Probably the one I remember the most, the longest, is the first one because it's so strange.
Well, the first one was the one that I felt like definitely reminded me of you, but with the style of humor in particular.
It's very, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun when you get into it. I mean, I don't even remember. I can't remember names worth anything. What's the guy who plays Ultraman?
In this one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
no, I mean, just
Katsudo is his quote unquote civilian name. What they don't really make clear in this is that typically with Ultramen, they either bond with a human host, which is much more common, or they take human form.
Which one was it? Like, first one doesn't even matter, but the second one, he talks to his dad in the sky. Yeah,
which is why, especially when we get to the second one, we're focusing on the first one. Yeah, but when you get to the second one, I tend to think that he's probably an Ultra taking human form. Okay. Although there have been times where they still do stuff like that if it's an Ultra who's bonded with a human. But
there's some really ridiculous kind of slapsticky sort of facial expressions, and the bad guy is ridiculous about his love of destruction. Some of the greatest lines.
Benzin. Oh, something I need to remind you about. I forgot to bring this up before the entertaining info dump, but in case you didn't catch it during the entertaining info dump, you want to know one of the reasons why this is kind of a strange movie? Both of these are kind of strange.
Why is that?
Well, you know how some people complain about how kid shows are just 30-minute toy commercials?
Yes.
And that accusation has also been thrown at various Ultra series.
Mm-hmm.
This too, both of them, are technically commercials.
Okay.
But not for toys.
For Bakari Sweat?
No.
Which was an awful lot of that.
Yeah. No, gasoline.
Oh, okay. Because of the gas station?
Yeah, and also these characters started in gas station commercials.
They all did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
And the uniforms are Mido. It's actually pronounced Mido.
Yes.
The mysterious Yonder Defense Organization.
Yes, that wonderful name.
Their uniforms are meant to look like I still need to answer your question about who played Ultraman, but to get into that a little bit, expand off of what was brought up about it in the entertaining info dump. Idemitsu Kosan gas station.
Okay.
I hope I said that right. Idemitsu. It's probably Idemitsu Kosan, which they flat out have that in the second movie because the villain in the second one says, "Here's my Idemitsu card."
Yeah.
And so they flat out have it.
Yeah.
So this is arguably like making a pair of movies about mascots in commercials.
Yep. It's
but continuing the advertising. That's the thing. Like I was trying to think what's an American example of this. You know, like I remember when was it like Geico they had the cavemen.
Okay,
It's so easy a caveman could do it. And they tried making a sitcom for it, and it didn't last.
It's kind of like that.
But I think maybe the one you could point to would be like Ernest.
Okay.
Because Ernest, from what I understand, I know Ernest as a movie character.
That's what I remember. Yeah.
But Jim Varney originally played the character in commercials.
Okay.
And then the commercials got so popular that they started making movies about the character.
Okay. Interesting.
But the difference is they continue the advertising.
Yes.
In this.
Yes.
So yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the name Zearth is also part of the advertising.
Wait, what?
Because it's short for Zenith Earth. And it's the name of the gas company's signature brand.
Zenith is or Zearth is?
Zearth, because it's a portmanteau of Zenith Earth.
So, like, when all the kids are shouting Zearth, they're just, like, advertising stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Just got weirder for you, didn't it?
Yes.
They're cheering. They all become Kennys, because that was something I've determined. When you start cheering for the hero, you have entered Kenny territory. If you haven't already, you are Kenny territory with that. All right, sure. Go ahead. Start cheering for me. That'll be great. You only cheer for the wife. All right. Whatever on that. All right. But this it's an eco-friendly fuel to boot. And they introduced it in 1993. And it had, even the bad guys play into this, because this fuel, this Zearth fuel.
Well, they're always asking for premium. Give me your best.
Yeah. No. It has less than 1% benzene.
Huh.
And what's the name of his nemesis?
Yeah, benzene alien. Alien benzene.
Benzene.
Yeah. Benzene.
It looks like benzene in the subtitles.
Yeah.
But it's actually benzene.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and they come from planet Benzene.
That's okay.
And
is there a reason they want gold? I don't know. I mean,
that's in the second one.
No,
they were stealing gold in this one because they needed gold to make
gold
power.
Yeah,
and it gets
for some reason
it gets weird. We'll get to that. If this was Henshin Power V3, I would be like, and you win the What the Henshin award with that one. But also, the color scheme, because I for a frame of reference, even though you briefly see the original Ultraman when Katsudo is practicing his I forget the special Sium beam.
Yeah.
That's his, it's the trademark cross
Yeah.
arm pose to do the finishing move. You see the original Ultraman in the mirror very briefly. But I just said, like, see what they did here. They reversed the color scheme.
Yeah.
Because most Ultramen are red and silver. But I showed you that on the original Ultraman, they swap the color palette. What's normally silver is red and vice versa. I thought, oh, that must be part of the joke, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's also part of the commercial.
Wow.
Because the reverse color scheme is taken from the Idemitsu gas station attendants' uniforms.
So how much did they pay for this movie?
Apparently a lot. Apparently a lot. And this Ultraman was designed by Chisato Sugiura, and it was meant to communicate, and this is how it was said on the Ultra Wiki, which probably has a slightly awkward English. Quote, "This is a different Ultraman."
Okay.
By the way, fun fact I found out while reading about all of this that also kind of ties into the movie. It is illegal for car owners to pump their own gas in Japan at this time.
No, yeah, I can see that. I think I was in Japan briefly in '97. You just pull up and they do all the work. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't do that in America anymore.
Nah, not for a long time.
And even your beloved Mido is part of this.
Really?
Yeah. Got its name from the Mido Cashback Rewards program that was with this chain of gas stations.
What? That's so weird.
And according to Kevin Derendorf in his book Kaiju for Hipsters, that's a book, people. He thinks it may have come from the company's service phrase, which is Mido Mata Irashai, which means thank you, please come again.
So,
and there's one more related to this. Zearth, the character, also appeared on an Idemitsu sponsored variety show in Japan called Tunnels no Minasan no Okage Desu, which means thanks to everyone in the tunnels.
Okay.
Which also, years before this, premiered a parody Kamen Rider. Called Kamen no Rider. Kamen no Rider. Yeah.
Okay, well, not sure what to feel about this anymore.
It
was weird, but now
some of the people from this sketch show actually played these characters on the sketch show, but then only got cameos in this movie.
Yeah.
And both of the movies. Along with the cast of the original Ultraman.
So it's not a clip show, but it's kind of not that many levels above.
Yeah.
At least in its formation. I mean, you could still write a good script technically, even with all the ad stuff, but that's super weird.
Mm-hmm. And the director was originally made commercials, obviously.
No, because it does jump very. I mean, again, I don't have anything to compare it to whether it's par for the course in this style or not, but like the scenes just show stuff sometimes without actually like leading up to anything. Like they're just seen like oh, now you say that, it's almost, some of the scenes are almost like doing a prescription medicine commercial. Like you just have the different shots of weird stuff that people are doing. Yeah.
Well, and the name of the director for this one, not in the second one, was Shinya Nakajima. And he did commercials, but he did weird commercials. Not just any commercials. Okay. Weird commercials. We've all seen weird Japanese commercials.
Yes.
Some of them have Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Advertising Japanese energy drinks. I'm not kidding. Look it up. And he did some for cup noodles that had stop motion cavemen hunting prehistoric animals.
Okay.
He also apparently directed Suntory commercials. I should have looked up what Suntory is, that had Gamera in them. What is Suntory? I'm going to look that up live. It is Japanese whiskey.
Okay. With Gamera.
With Gamera. I guess that makes sense. He breathes fire.
Yeah, but it's not for children.
So yeah.
Means a lot about Kenny.
Yeah. I bet a lot of those kiddies grew up to become alcoholics. We all know this. Hey, we know it was true for a while there, Jimmy, okay? Okay, there's no shame in that. Whatever.
So yeah, this makes the movie even stranger than it was. I mean, that was I was just running it based on what it is, but now that you're like giving me all this background knowledge, you're like, what was that I watched?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
But-
Yeah, I'm trying to find the screenwriter on this one too. I'm trying to remember. I think the screenwriter in this one was a very experienced with Ultraman.
With Ultraman.
Yeah, he had been writing with Subaraya for a while.
Okay.
The guy who wrote the second one had only ever written one other Ultraman related thing. He
Really?
wrote one episode of TV.
But you said that was the more traditional one. The first one, I mean, our main character is just in both of them he's a goon. But in the first one,
A goon?
A goon. That's my word for like he just doesn't quite know what he's doing.
Oh, I thought you meant goob.
No,
with a B.
No. A Goomba? No.
A Goomba? Yeah. Yeah, but now
Giant commercial. Okay. Well, not just giant commercial. Giant commercial plus Ultraman.
Giant commercial plus Ultraman. Well, like I said, for some people, it's all a commercial. You know, most of the cartoons we grew up with, they would just say are commercials. But the problem is what they fail to realize when it comes to, at least when it's the quote unquote toy commercials, gas stations, that's a whole other.
That's a different thing.
That's a whole other thing. But they fail to realize, I think both critics and creators fail to realize, you know how you make the commercial effective? Make the characters and stories so good that the kids are like, I want a toy of my favorite character.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, oh my gosh. It's like good writing can sell products. Who would have thought
that if you want to steal their heart? Sorry, spoiler for second episode. But as a movie, a commercial, an hour long, paid by the gas company. It's like in an American movie when you like the Texas guy owns the oil, runs everything. That's literally who paid for this movie. Sounds like.
Yeah, well, at least maybe it's because I wasn't picking up on that because this is the 90s. It was a Japanese gas station and things like that.
It makes sense.
Maybe I did. I'm not catching on to that, but I watch Godzilla 1985, which had a massive sponsorship from Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper's everywhere. It's not, this is technically really in your face about all of that. Godzilla 1985 wasn't. It was just blatant product placement.
Yeah. This is like if you had an American movie in the, say, 80s or 90s that the main character worked at McDonald's. I mean, and then
McDonald's. It's all about McDonald's. Actually, wasn't there a really bad faith-based movie that was called Christian Mingle that was funded by Christian Mingle, the dating app?
Maybe
there was. I saw like one trailer for like, I can't believe this exists, and then I just moved on with my life. But no, the screenwriter for the first one, his name was Nagasaka. Yeah, first name. Let me make sure I get the first name correct. Shukei Nagasaka. And he was a tokusatsu and anime veteran.
Okay.
In 1983, he wrote an anime movie called Golgo 13 The Professional, which was the first time that franchise had a full-length theatrical movie from what I read. Here's the thing. This was originally supposed to be written by a team of writers, but that proved quote-unquote incoherent, so he just said, fine, I'll just write it all myself.
Incoherent. That's funny.
But the director was nervous about this being too long, so Nagasaka included a climactic scene every 15 minutes.
Okay. So it's structured, okay, as 15-minute commercials.
You're subtly very disillusioned about this movie.
No, not really. I mean, no, because
both of them.
I can separate the two of them because here's the thing: even if it is all product placement, the story's either good or bad, right? I mean, why it exists and how it exists are two different things.
Oh, and by the way, this whole thing with the gasoline commercials was arranged by an advertising agency called Dentsu. I should probably mention that.
Okay.
They are not sponsoring this podcast, but I will happily take their sponsorship.
But yeah, this first movie's like, it starts off and like everyone's celebrating, it's in universe. Everyone has Ultraman toys.
That is an Ultraman tradition going all the way back to the original show. It's always weird whenever these tokusatsu franchises put the products in universe.
But see, Stan Lee did that back in the 60s with Fantastic Four. They actually, like, Stan Lee's in a Fantastic Four comic, doing comics about Fantastic Four. I mean,
yeah, but that's a fourth wall break. This,
but they're also
it's not literally putting the toys.
No,
in
but
there.
they have toys too.
Oh, okay.
They have toys in some of the episodes, or early 60s comics.
Yeah,
but anyway.
No, I understand. But we should talk, because you've mentioned him already. I've already broken your brain.
Yeah, go for it.
Telling you about all of this stuff. We need to talk about arguably. Oh wait, I forgot to tell you that you want to know the actor. I'm catching up. I'm catching up with myself.
I just meant the name of the
the name of the
universe too.
Okay, Katsudo. The name of the actor is Masahiro Sekiguchi.
Okay.
And this is his only acting credit for the Ultra franchise. He mostly was a TV and variety show writer.
Okay. Oh, really? He's a writer normally.
Yeah. And he was the manager for the Tunnels comedy duo, which is probably like the two, the second one in particular, when we see the two generals who were telling them what to do, and they're just losing their minds. He was their manager. Yeah.
Okay.
They were Noritaki Kanashi and Takaki Ishibashi. And they were originally supposed, like I said, they're supposed to play the hero and villain in this one, but like they did on the comedy sketch show. But then it ended up going to him.
No. Okay. Interesting.
No, it ended up going to
the other guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Sekiguchi. But speaking of the villain, we got to talk.
The villain.
We got to talk about Alien Benzin or Benzine, however you want to say it. I need,
His love of destruction.
Oh my gosh. I had forgotten how funny this guy was.
He's very funny. He's very funny.
I was writing down a bunch of his lines. Like, he is such a delicious supervillain.
Yes. Actually, both of these have good.
Yeah, I think I'm a little more partial to Benzine in the first one.
He's more over
because he
the
just
top.
has so many lines. Like one of the first things he says when he appears is, "Destruction is the epitome of art." Actually, no, we got to do it. We got to do this right.
Yeah,
we got to do this right with my new effects on here. Okay.
Yes. Destruction is the epitome of art.
Yes. No,
wait, let's get all the rest of them. I wrote several of them down. Here we go.
Confirmation is the origin of art. Love thy enemy. Love is the true destruction. Destruction, the beauteous finale.
He's so ridiculous. He's so ridiculous. And his plan is ridiculous. Everything about him is ridiculous. His bling is ridiculous.
I can't believe I didn't think of this. I still need to look up this actor's
He's
name.
the press.
What?
First time he's the part of the press. Apparently, do you notice that? First time.
No.
I'm
no, because he is running around with a camera like he's a filmmaker.
Yep.
That's why he's obsessed with art.
Art, exactly.
But no, I'm trying to remember the actor's name, because something I'm embarrassed to say I did not think of until I read about it in my research, which makes you coming on for these movies even more appropriate. I had sources who compared him to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from. And now that I think of it, it's like, yeah. It's Doctor Who from King Kong Escapes. Oh my gosh. The sheer over the
topness. Yeah. I mean, the first movie generally you have to enjoy by it's just ridiculous and over the top. I mean, you're smearing oil on people's faces. You're afraid of your epic.
Hey! In Katsudo's defense, yes, he's got Mysophobia or whatever, however you're supposed to say it. come on, dumping ashes in an ashtray and smearing oil in your face. That's just rude.
It is just rude, yes. Final conflict is basically walking through mud. I mean, it's just...
Yes, that's the thing that I was told. Just like, this is the final trial of his hero's journey, wading through mud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's Skin of Evil from Star Trek The Next Generation, that weirdo controversial episode from season 1.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a very unique movie.
Apparently, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for the cast list, and it says Alien Benzene or whatever. He's also credited as Akama Ogami. I wonder if that's supposed to be his human form name.
Maybe. I don't remember.
That is hilarious.
And we can't forget the other important character, which is the giant golden flute.
Played by the girl on the
girl
team,
who always plays the flute.
who Katsudo kind of has a thing for.
Well, and again, it's nice, but like it comes out of nowhere, and like she just always like it's just interesting. They're at the gas station, and then they're on this beautiful hill, and like where are these in relation to each other? Like they just go from one to the other, and you're just like, what? Where are we? But it works because it's just that sort of movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says this is the voice, so I don't know if this is the. You know what? I'm going to double check on the actor's name, but keep talking.
Hello. No. Let's see what else.
Let me talk about the flute. What the importance of the flute?
The flute is just supposed to encourage him to be his true self.
Yeah,
but
and I was joking about how it's just too bad it's not the dragon dagger from Power Rangers.
But sometimes like you're on this green hill that you have no idea where it is. Everything else is city, and like she just has 4 kids hanging around her. Like, are these her siblings? Is she babysitting? Like, why is she not at the gas station right now?
She's entertaining the children. Okay,
yeah, it's just at one time they can hear her from the gas station playing the flute, and then like the moment it stops, they're not like, oh no, she got tired of playing her flute. They're like, oh no, she must be being kidnapped, and they run out to go get her.
Nope, that is actually him. I had to confirm. Takeshi Kaga.
Okay,
Takeshi Kaga. That is our ridiculous supervillain.
He's fantastic.
He might be my favorite character in the entire thing. But yes. The flute.
I mean, it's fine. It's a good thing. It just shows up oddly.
It gets kind of mythic when we get to the end there when because Benson is a cheater. So he's like, you have foiled my first plan.
Mud.
No, that was the mud was the backup plan. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like, you have foiled my first plan. So now I will use my second plan. No, because remember he was like, because this guy is so twisted. He figures out, because he has a kaiju bodyguard who doesn't want a kaiju bodyguard.
Yeah, exactly.
And he figures out, if he does his finishing move on the monster,
he'll blow up the earth.
It'll blow up the earth.
Which is why, wow, man. that's quite the bodyguard.
Cotton Poppy.
Cotton Poppy, which is a reference to something, I think.
I tried looking it up, and I couldn't find anything. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, listen to the credits and send me feedback.
Didn't they say it was like a toy from Nagasaki?
Yeah. That's what they said in. So still a commercial. If I was to give episode titles to this, it would just be like still a commercial. Yes. But it becomes kind of mythic because he cheats when he makes him wade through the mud because he sinks magically. It's magically deeper because it's just
it's like
the mud.
It's a Treyu with his horse.
Yeah. The pond of. Wow. Wow.
There's a kaiju in that movie.
Yeah, it is.
A giant turtle.
Yeah. Well, it has a dragon. That's kaiju adjacent. But anyway, a luck dragon.
But the turtle legitimately a kaiju.
Yes. Gamera.
Yeah.
That's what you were doing, Gamera?
No.
Anyway, so he makes this mud pond, which does look like oil slick, but it's supposed to be mud.
Yeah.
And he thinks, I just have to wade through it a little bit. And then the middle of it is magically deeper. Yep. And then the kids start cheering because that's when they embrace their Kenniness. Yep. That's when it's like, if you start cheering for the hero, you are a Kenny, you are arguably a Kenny. Like that is a very Kenny characteristic. and then she starts playing her flute.
And then go through the mud, apparently.
And then he rises
clean
from the mud.
like
Clean.
spick and span.
Spick and span. But he rises from the with no explanation other than he likes the flute playing and it's encouraging.
And his color thing's not going anymore.
And the color timer is not flashing
which
anymore.
doesn't make any sense either. That was the whole problem.
Yeah, so he's rejuvenated. Apparently not, because everybody's cheering for him, but that's not what does it. No, it's that flute.
It's that flute.
It's that flute.
Which I'm fine with. It's like somehow she carries it everywhere. Apparently,
yeah, apparently she does. But
Even when
it's very much the hero's journey. He has quote unquote died, and now he is rising again. Yeah,
then beats up all the people. But he never gets any of the gold back. I mean, you're still missing all that gold.
That's because the alien Benson and Cotton Poppy are too busy doing potentially suggestive things with gold energy.
But wait, here's
by
the
that
thing.
I mean the kaiju looks like he is peeing on him, and it looks like it's coming from one chest, arcing up and falling onto his very large light up pecs, and then the director of the second movie saw that and said, hold my Japanese beer, and figured out how to make it even weirder.
Yeah.
In the second one.
No,
and I'm like, I can't show this to any children.
So
now.
let's think about consequence here. There was a giant Fort Knox like building where they melted all the gold out of it. They never get it back. So someone is out just millions, tens of millions of dollars, or maybe all the banks aren't backed anymore. I don't know. There's an economic collapse going on. There's something going, but I guess at least you can still go to the gas station.
And the world didn't blow up.
The world that is true. World not blowing up.
The economy has tanked, but the world didn't blow up.
Hey, I'll take that.
That is the important thing, Nick. The world didn't blow up.
I think
because of a very volatile, potentially suicidal kaiju. Unless Cotton Poppy didn't know this was going to happen.
But wait, his master's like hiding behind a rock. Like he's going to get blown up too, isn't he?
This is true.
I mean, they said it was like a cosmic explosion.
Benson, you didn't think this plan through.
No, I don't think he did.
But imagine being that kaiju and you're like, yes, haha, I will do my master's bidding. I will kill the Ultraman. Wait, I'm going to blow up. You rigged me to blow up.
It's his entire life's purpose.
He could. That's all Zearth had to do. All Zearth had to do is like, hey, Cotton Poppy, if I shoot you with my special Shium beam or whatever, they subtitled it weird. It probably sounds funnier in Japanese, but
I don't think Cotton Poppy's that intelligent.
Yeah, I do think it's like, Cotton Poppy, if I shoot you, you'll explode. Your master is kind of a jerk.
You're just lying to me.
Fine, I'll break your horns.
There you go.
This is what it's come to.
So that's
so it has come to this.
That it is Ultraman Zearth right there. I don't know what else there is.
And I'm still trying to find out, as I don't think it's supposed to be Fort Knox, but it's they had a caption. Didn't they?
But it wasn't translated.
I should have gotten my translation app out just to make sure. Because I had a Japanese guard, so I don't think it's supposed to be Fort Knox.
No, I don't think. But it had a lot of gold.
It did have a lot of gold, but that's what they're after, because gold
powers them somehow. I can't push too hard on this. I mean, yay for gold.
There's supposed to be there's supposed to be some sort of element that you don't want in gasoline.
Well, and I'm not exactly sure. Apparently, there's a lot of buried gold in that lake, but when they drained it, but it drained by blowing water.
Well, yeah, because that's why the pirate ship, when we were confused by the pirate ship, that's because he was getting gold out of it.
Yeah, but he spotted this pirate ship, but then there was also treasure in the lake that got dried.
Yeah, and then they talked about, oh my gosh, the King Tut's tomb has been raided, yes. And I'm like, Mummy Man? That's a monster from the original show. I was just like, you could have Mummy Man, but no Mummy Man.
Are you my mummy?
Are you my mummy?
Speaking of Doctor Who.
Yeah, Doctor Who. Seriously, I don't know where that comes from.
All right. So yeah, that's Zearth.
Zearth.
And the hero does learn to be dirty.
Well, yeah, that's because
he's a real man now.
That's because his love interest, was it Noru? Naru, no. I'm getting, look at me. I just watched the movie and I'm forgetting names.
I'm bad at names anyways.
Toru,
yeah.
Toru, she says like, real men would get their hands dirty. Yeah. I like it. I like real men who get their hands dirty. He's like,
but he did get the woman in either one.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, they had a fun little ride together. Because at this point, he's not a member of the team.
No, he's not.
He's the guy they leave behind who appropriately cleans the place up.
Yeah.
And let's not forget his transformation device is an electric toothbrush,
which is fantastic too.
I mean, and apparently he has to brush his teeth thoroughly to transform.
It's got to be clean.
It's got to be clean.
It is a very quirky movie.
Yeah, and
everyone, even all his teammates, just kind of act a little bit over the top. I mean, everything's just a little much.
Crazy.
Yeah.
One of the reviews I looked at was, like I said, was very negative toward both of these movies and said that the humor would only appeal to small children. Apparently, I am a child because I think this is funny. I think it's wonderfully funny,
especially the bad guy.
The bad guy is good.
So,
and he has like anime style reactions where he's blowing steam out of his nose or ears and then magically sucks it back in.
Yeah.
In his human form.
Yeah.
And he just shows up at the gas station just to be rude.
Yeah. It's interesting though that all these people, no one knows who Ultraman's true identity is except the bad guys always know. Maybe that's a shtick, but they just like drive up like, oh, hi guy.
You'd be surprised how often that happens.
Probably
especially, I mean, it was definitely a thing in Power Rangers.
Yeah.
You know, which is why, even though Rita Repulsa knows who the Power Rangers are, she doesn't use this as, oh, I don't know, I'll go kidnap their families or something like that. No, I'm just going to be petty.
Yep, that sounds about right.
I'm just going to, some days she wakes up and she's like, I feel like taking over the world. Other times she wakes up and says, I want to ruin their day.
Same with this guy. He just drops ashes on his feet or whatever and freak him out. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he knows what his kryptonite is.
Yes.
He knows what his kryptonite is.
Yes. It's something else.
And he even like at points he's like, I see. I see. He hates the dirt. Yes. Oh, wait. No, we got to do this correctly. I'm sorry.
I see he hates the dirt.
Sorry, I'm having too much fun with this. Jimmy, I love you. Yes, I know, not as much as Kaguya. That would be weird. Anyway, so I'm just kind of flipping over my notes. We had a post-credit in this one.
Yes.
Where you compared to Inception.
Well, I mean, legitimately, it's not a fair comparison because the rest of him's dirty. He's used to being dirty, but you mentioned he got the oil on him and then just cuts
on his cheek. Yeah.
On his cheek, like, is he going to react or not?
Yeah. Well, you don't see what happens. And you're like, that's the top from Inception. Yeah. And I'm like, Nick, you're probably the only person who has ever made that comparison, and I love you for it. That is brilliant. It should be mentioned in both of these movies, the cast members of the original 1966 TV show do make
lots of cameos.
There's a lot of cameos in this. That was the part where like Nick won't get those. I will get those.
You can tell they're cameos though. They're set up very much.
Yeah. So you have Susumu Kurobe, who was Shin Hayata, the original Ultraman host. He was in this. I wrote it down what they were all doing in this, but yeah, Shin Hayata, because they came really fast, so like they were just all like one shot or one scene after another.
Very early in the movie.
Very early movie, which is probably a smart move on their part.
Well, if you have 15 minutes before, it might be too long. You just
it's like Hitchcock. You know, he would make a cameo, but it would have to be within the first 15 minutes of the movie. Otherwise, he said, if I show up later, it'll take people out. Yeah, and then Hiroko Sakurai, who I've met, she was at G-Fest recently. She was the token girl on there, and she's my favorite one.
Yeah,
she's not only she didn't just make one cameo, she's a running gag.
Yeah,
she's this old lady, although she looks very good for herself. You know, being I'm guessing probably in her 50s at that point, and she's this lady who lives near the gas station where Mido is, and apparently their sign is a portal because their ship just flies out of it in very 90s looking CGI. He just flies out of it, and she's the only one who sees it, and she keeps trying to convince people there's an airplane that comes out of the sign, and nobody believes her. And the best part of the whole thing is she gets an entire crowd, like she got the whole neighborhood there, and they all have cameras out to take a picture, just waiting. And then somebody dropped something,
like a coin or something,
and then they all look down, and that's when the ship comes out. Flies away, and then they all look up, and she's like, and she's the only one who saw it. She's like, oh, and she comes back in the second one, but they only do it once in the second one. Yeah. And then you had Akiji Kobayashi, who was Amatsu, I should say, who was the captain in the original show. He was also a mentor character in several Kamen Rider shows.
Okay.
He unfortunately died between these movies, so he was not in the second one, but they have a picture of him in the second one. And then you had Sandayu Doku Mamushi, who was Arashi in that one. And I think he was the reporter in this.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I think he was the reporter in this. And then Ide, who was my favorite character from the show. I'm trying to look up all their cameos. Can you tell I'm a professional? Oh, he was a cameraman. Ide was a cameraman. Yeah, Fuji's the old lady. And Arashi was a reporter. Mm-hmm. So they just find these little bit parts they can sneak them into there. And even if you know that's supposed to be a cameo, it doesn't really take away from anything.
No.
And then Masanari Nihei, Ide, was in this as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this. It is believed, according to the Ultra Wiki, that the success that this had, because as I mentioned in the entertaining info dump, this was part of this little Ultraman Wonderful something. It was like 3 kind of shorts strung together. Yeah, Ultraman Wonderful Festival. And the other things included in this was Revive Ultraman, or in Japanese, Yomigere Ultraman, which was a sequel to the original show, but it was just a bunch of clips edited together with the cast coming back and redubbing it.
Okay.
And it was only like 24 minutes. And then they had an anime short, a comedic anime short called Ultraman Company that had cutesy versions of the Ultraman monsters and other Ultramen and all that, working in an office.
All right, then.
If they made it now, they would. You imagine them doing it like the show The Office?
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about who Michael Scott is in that context. So that was, and this was part of that.
Okay, interesting.
And then they did the same thing a year later with the second one.
Yeah.
So, I think looking at this, I think we've covered it pretty well.
Yeah.
We've got a lot to go. We've got a lot to go over. So I think we can move on. And this is why all of you should join MIFE Max on Patreon if you want to see all the notes I didn't get to. Also, check the show notes for all the sources so you can read even more about this that I didn't get to. All right. Well, first, we got to do the entertaining info dump for the second movie to get everybody up to speed on it. This time, Katsuro Asahi, aka Ultraman Zearth, is a determined but traumatized member of Mido who, after losing to Ultraman Shadow, seeks to overcome his PTSD by training with a martial arts master. He spends much of the movie attempting to kick a volleyball dangling high from a tree, and after acquiring enough grit and confidence, he succeeds and then confronts Shadow again. The cold and ruthless Ultraman Shadow is an android double of Zearth created by Lady Benzen to kill Zearth. He has no free will of his own and simply does what he is programmed to do. His aforementioned creator, the malicious and controlling Lady Benzen, aka Kagemi, seeks to avenge her husband, Alien Benzen, and take over the world.
Of course!
Besides Shadow, her other plan is to collect numerous martial artist children and brainwash them into an army. Miraclon is a brave and friendly capsule monster unleashed by Katsuro to combat Shadow while he, Katsuro, is training. The kaiju manages to hold Shadow off until Lady Benson counters him with her own capsule monster, the vicious and obedient Darklar, who simply did his mistress's bidding. Digital Kanegon is the helpful and hardworking robotic kaiju who assists Mido with things like gas station service and probability calculations. The stoic but caring Ban Satsuma is the new captain of Mido who secretly supports Katsudo's efforts to overcome his fears after the man resigns. He also seems to know Katsudo's secret identity, and he leads the operations against Lady Benson to foil her plans and rescue the hostages. The intelligent and calculative Manubo Kazu is Mido's new vice captain who carries a laptop with him everywhere. Using said laptop, he formulates countermeasures against Lady Benson and Shadow for Mido. Toru Hoshimi is still honest but is now more encouraging compared to how she was in the first movie. She's the only Mido member who encourages Katsudo to improve himself, and like in the previous movie, she spends much of this one held captive by the villains. Ganta Takamura remains smart but oafish, although this time he is more the team's muscle than computer analyst. The still efficient and helpful AI Midori is consulted by Satsuma to evaluate data and formulate battle plans. The talented and angry Yuki Hoshimi is Toru's younger brother who loses faith in Zearth after the hero fails to defeat Shadow, and he takes that anger out on Katsudo when the man fails his training. However, he regains his faith when he sees Zearth return with newfound boldness. Shinpei Okochi and Futsukichi Konakai, the eccentric former Mido commanders, somehow got promoted and only speak with the team to give them orders or get reports from them. The human and kaiju plotlines once again run parallel and often unify. The kaiju serve either the heroes or villains, and the heroes and villains' actions are connected to each other in some way. Lady Benson and her minions are the problem. Zearth battles Shadow in the Antarctic but suffers a devastating defeat. Shadow is later deployed by Lady Benson to the city to challenge Zearth, but the hero was too emotionally distraught to respond, so Mido attacks the android with laser ropes, which Shadow breaks and then uses to crash the team's aircraft. Katsudo deploys Miraclon to fight Shadow, but Lady Benson counters with Darklar. Miraclon defeats Darklar and damages Shadow, but the android counters the capsule monster and puts the city under his control. Mido later attacks Shadow City to save the hostages, and Lady Benson deploys Shadow to intercept them. They fire on Shadow's color timer, having learned that is his weak spot, but Lady Benson anticipated this and covered it with armor. Mido's beams are reflected back, downing their Sky Shark, with Shadow intending to finish them off. The problem is solved by Zearth after he finally kicks the volleyball and completes his training. He fights Shadow, saving Mido as Toru plays her flute and the kids in Shadow City cheer. Lady Benson gives the android a final power boost as Shadow and Zearth's beams clash, but Zearth is able to destroy the machine with a new beam attack. Lady Benson confronts Zearth after growing giant-sized and says she will return to avenge herself and leaves. The script by Kazunori Saito is a simple sci-fi action story that is at once more focused and less focused than the previous movie. Subplots are minimal, if not non-existent. Budget figures are unavailable for this movie, but it clearly has more production value than its predecessor. Director/effects supervisor Kazuya Konaka utilized more CGI than the previous entry did, most notably in an ambitious aerial dogfight between Zearth and Shadow, which was unprecedented at the time. Unfortunately, it hasn't aged well and it looks like PlayStation 2 graphics at best. However, the practical effects, which included more kaiju suits and city miniatures, looked much better by comparison. The production design as a whole looks more cinematic, particularly during the effects sequences. There is less location filmmaking, and the sets from the previous movie are reused, but overall, it looks like an improvement. Konaka toned down the comedic elements in Saito's script, increasing the gravity while still keeping this a relatively light superhero story. This is especially true for Katsudo's character arc, which is far less funny. Unfortunately, this makes this movie tonally inconsistent. Like the previous movie, with its alien supervillains, transforming hero, and high-tech vehicles and weapons, this is a fantastical sci-fi movie. This is decidedly non-experimental, having shed some of the parody elements of its predecessor, making it much less novel. For this reason, this movie reinforces the style of the first Ultraman Zearth and, to a larger extent, the style of Showa-era Ultra series. The movie was made to capitalize on the success of the previous and, strange as it may sound, to promote the kickboxing organization K1, which had a documentary play along with this movie. To a lesser extent, the Idemitsu Kosan promotion was continued too. Regardless, it was still meant to entertain a child audience and appeal to the kids' parents who grew up watching the Ultra series. Box office figures are unavailable, but it was successful when released April 12, 1997 by Shochiku, where it was part of a triple feature with the anime short Ultra Nyan, The Mysterious Cat Who Fell from the Starry Sky, and the aforementioned K1 documentary, The Road to the Strongest, Welcome to the K-Zone. It was more positively received by critics and audiences, which prompted Tsuburaya Productions to consider making a third movie. There are several forces at play. Katsudo's PTSD cripples his effectiveness as a superhero and Mido member, allowing Lady Benson to mostly carry out her evil plans unopposed. This forces Mido and Miraclon to step in to fill that void, with mostly ineffective results. Lady Benson's desire for revenge wreaks havoc on Katsudo's mental health, and her thirst for conquest clashes with humanity's right to freedom. The martial arts master demands excellence from Katsudo, who must overcome his lack of confidence to meet those standards. Yuki's disappointment with Zearth only worsens Katsudo's confidence and pushes the boy to take dangerous actions against the villains. Shadow serves as a dark reflection of Zearth. The movie has some potent themes. Lady Benson's desire for revenge and conquest is shown to be evil. However, her love and affection for alien Benson is ironically genuine. Mido is determined to stop Lady Benson, even if it means risking their lives. Yuki learns to have faith in his hero Zearth again. Most importantly, by sheer grit and determination, Katsudo kicks that volleyball, learning a new technique he can use against the villains, and overcomes his PTSD to save the day. Is part 2 better than the first? Let's find out in some Toku Talk! Alrighty, so Ultraman Zearth 2, that is what it is called internationally. It has a subtitle that for some odd reason, Mill Creek Entertainment, now Alliance Entertainment, they changed their name. It's a little strange. Out of nowhere, they just changed it. The subtitle, I found 2 different translations for the subtitle, which is, I probably should have got my Google Translate app out to see what it came out as, but I saw it translated as either Ultraman Zearth 2, the Japanese title is Chojin Taisen Hikari to Yami, which is either Superhuman Battle Light and Shadow or Superman Big Battle.
Superman Big.
Which also should include light and shadow, because that's what Hikari means. Hikari is the Japanese word for light.
Okay.
And I guess Yami is at least one word for shadow. There's other words for shadow in Japanese. But yeah. So Superhuman Battle or Superman Big Battle.
It's unfortunate because Katsuda? I don't know how to say his name.
Katsudo, yes.
Katsudo. I feel like he's actually less enjoyable in the second one.
Yeah.
I feel like he was a lot of fun in the first one. And this one, he's kind of a sad sack for too long.
Yeah. And this movie is about 10 minutes longer than the other one.
Okay.
No, actually, no, it is about 15 minutes longer. Okay. This one's 66. The other one was 51.
I mean, this one is much more traditional. He's
that's what I told you. I mean, it's still kind of funny, but they made the first one intentionally to be different. That's why it's a comedy. Yeah. That's why it comes from comedic commercials and shorts and all of that. This one, they decided not to do that.
The humor is toned down.
The humor is toned down, and there are more cameos, which is interesting, from different shows, which we'll get into. But the story that they do in this is something I would pick up being an Ultraman fan. They are actually copying one of the shows from the 70s.
Okay.
It's called Ultraman Leo. And in that one, they bring back Ultra 7, but now he's been injured in the first episode. So he's coming back for another show. He gets injured. And then these two Ultras take human form. They don't have hosts.
Okay.
In his human form, he's still injured. So he becomes the captain of that team in that show. And our title hero, Ultraman Leo, is a young guy by Ultraman standards.
Yeah.
Still kind of green. So because he's a member of the team and he's a hero who needs training, Ultra 7 has decided that he will train him. And boy, howdy, is he mean. He makes drill sergeants cry. That's how mean he is in that show. And I think the idea is because he's hurt. He's walking around with a cane. So he's kind of bitter and things like he got better. even though it looks like he dies in that show. Spoiler warning, but yeah. And a lot of the training that he makes poor Ultraman Leo do is martial arts related.
Okay.
So I think that's where a lot of that is coming from with this. But what's kind of interesting is the sources I looked at, Kevin Deradorf in particular, argued that the pedigree behind the camera in the second one, he says, other than the screenwriter, is a step up in his estimation.
I can see that.
It's directed by Kazuya Konaka, who went on to direct a lot of Ultraman stuff and became one of the best ones. I've seen his name pop up a lot. He worked on a lot of high profile stuff, both on the big screen and on the small screen. It was written by a guy named Kazunori Saito, who had only written one other thing for Ultraman before this. It was one episode of TV. Ultraman Tiga, to be specific, which would have been just a year before this. But, and it had a new composer and everything.
Yeah.
No, I think they had, both movies were scored by James Shimoji.
Okay.
And they had the same effects supervisor too, Koichi Takano. So the implication from Kevin Deradorf seemed to be that he didn't think the script was written as well. And I can understand because the guy who did it before was a veteran writer.
Yeah.
And this guy was new.
Yeah.
And clearly going with what had worked before.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're a year out from this being an anniversary project. But the weird thing about this, and this is something I told you, I was like, I will explain a little bit more when we get there, because I mentioned that, this was paired with other things to fill out, an entire movie because it's only an hour long. Well, I want to see these because I'm curious about them. But this one was paired with an anime short called Ultra Neon. Nyan? I don't know. Nyan, which I saw translated as Ultra Meow.
Okay. Yeah.
The mysterious cat who fell from the starry sky. This is an Ultraman story where the Ultra is a cat.
Interesting.
So if you ever needed to see Hello Kitty cosplay Ultraman, apparently Subaraya made that happen.
All right.
But instead of another anime short or a clip show or whatever, no. It is a documentary on kickboxing.
Blah martial arts going on, I guess.
Yeah. And it was sponsored by Dentsu, the ad agency I mentioned. They produced it. It's for an organization called K1.
Okay.
A promotion, I should say, that was popular in Japan at the time. So it's a documentary about them, and it's called The Road to the Strongest. Welcome to the K-Zone. But here's the funny thing. This movie, unlike the first one, with the first one, they promoted it in tandem with these with those two things it was paired with.
Yeah.
This one, they didn't do that. They did not say like, come see, welcome to the K-Zone and Ultra Meow with Ultraman Zearth. No, it's like Ultraman Zearth is its own thing.
Okay.
Like they were promoting it as its own thing. So the shift in tone came about because of K1 and Dentsu's project manager at the time, Takahito Ida. So now that you know that they were working with a kickboxing promotion
Makes
for
sense.
this. It suddenly makes a little bit more sense.
You got a lot of,
That's one of the
a
things.
lot of kicking going on.
Yeah, a lot
Show
of
me your axe kick.
Show me your axe kick. And you were critiquing.
I'm like, axe kicks are not that hard.
Yeah, it's like you were critiquing the martial arts in this because your brother.
My brother, martial artist. Yeah.
Yeah, your brother's a martial artist. Runs. Do we call it a dojo?
No, it's a school.
He runs a school.
Yeah.
You've done some yourself. Come
Yeah,
on.
we started at the same time, way
Yeah.
back in late middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're probably just sitting there going, just like, I could be an Ultraman.
I'm
look
sure
at
I
me,
can't do
I'm-
the cool flips. But
If
you need an axe kick,
I
I
can
do
do
an
an
axe
axe.
yeah.
Can you kick Wilson? That's the important part.
that Wilson is way up there. So apparently, to train him to believe in himself, they tie this
Yeah, and it's the
volleyball.
What's weird is that this dojo that he goes to is run by a white guy. It's run by a gaijin.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is already kind of strange. And his secondary master or whatever, because he still calls the white guy master.
Yeah.
But he's fairly the second in command at or whatever. That's a very military, but he's the co-manager,
Yeah, something
assistant
like that.
manager or whatever, assistant master or whatever at this dojo. And he's Japanese, and he's the one who says, I will train you. And then he takes him out and he has the ball on the ground. She's like, kick the ball. Kicks the ball.
Yeah.
Then he
Puts
it's
like
tied
8
to a
feet
rope,
up.
but then he just pulls it up. So it's like 10 feet off the
Yeah, it's
ground or
ridiculous.
something like that. And he's like, this is impossible. And I just wrote in my notes, it's like, Hong Kong action movies have told me this is not impossible. And then he
But then he spends
Kick
20
something.
minutes basically just trying to kick this ball. I mean, and feeling really sad about himself. And the kid saying he's a loser.
unknowing. Not to him as Katsudo, but
Yeah.
they keep complaining about
Okay.
Zearth.
Here's a random question that has nothing to do with anything almost. But so earlier, the kid gets bullied by those 3 Cobra Kai people.
We were making a lot of Cobra Kai jokes watching this.
But and Katsua he sits up. He's like in a boat at the docks for some reason. Like, is that his house? Does he just sleep there on the docks?
I don't know.
I mean, like, why was he there and why was he sleeping before he woke up? I mean, and like
Maybe he went fishing. I don't know.
maybe it was just a very strange transition. I'm like, why are you here?
Yeah, I understand.
Anyways, that's not neither here nor there. Just one of those things I noticed.
Well, yeah. Well, when we going back to the one about kicking the ball, because spoiler warning, he eventually does.
He eventually does.
Yeah, he eventually does it. And I wrote in my notes, he kicked the ball. I don't know how, but he kicked the ball. It's not like he learned some new martial arts technique or something like that. He tries to, but nobody teaches him anything new.
He learns grit.
Or learns some sort of new lesson. It's like you need to change your mindset or something like that. He just keeps trying long enough. And so I wrote, I don't know how, but he kicked the ball. He tried hard enough, I guess.
He believes in himself.
Yeah.
It's Disney theology.
Yeah, exactly. And Naruto theology as well. And then I just wrote at the end of that note, Yoda is confused because, do or do not, there is no try. He tried hard long enough that eventually he got there.
Well, but the whole like theme of this movie is just basically like the main lady bad person.
Lady Benzin.
Lady Benzin, that's right. Just
because she's the girlfriend of the first villain,
yes,
and is equally as ridiculous.
And she's like Disneyville, like Disney, like live action teen popper villain level. And she just basically she looks
like a biker chick.
She just wants to humiliate him.
Like the first guy had I called it the evil van. Like he would just show up in this big black van and then it would magically turn into a helicopter because, and she shows up riding a motorcycle and she's full tilt biker chick. Now they all dress in black and wear some leather and all that, but he didn't look like a biker.
No.
He looked like he had seen The Matrix 3 years before The Matrix, but so I guess he was kind of a punk, you could say, maybe. But she's full tilt biker chick.
Yeah.
And she's equally as rude.
And she just wants, she's equally rude. Basically, she just wants to steal everyone's heart, like make them despair. And the other guy loved destruction. She likes despair. Together they make, I don't know, like
the world's evilest power couple.
I guess it's like We made a never-ending story reference earlier, like the nothingness and the emptiness. There you go.
The nothing.
The nothing in the first one, the emptiness on the second one.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, she has a stunning plan of making weird techno dojos everywhere that no one seems to
Ziggurat dojos.
Yeah,
That's what
apparently-
because she plants these towers that apparently are entire dojos, and they look like architecture designed by H.R. Giger.
like Krang. What was it?
Krang from Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles will love these things. I mean, they're like Technodome level.
You mean Technodrome?
Drome, yeah.
Technodrome. Yeah, but they're like these ziggurat towers, and they can fly like rockets.
But apparently they're all over the world, and no one's ever thought this was a little odd that they look like this. Like, this is a dojo. And
and not only that, but children go inside of them, and they don't come out.
And then she just like puts VR systems and teaches them, or they teach her. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You said that it was like VR troopers,
basically, yeah.
And then we were already making Cobra Kai jokes, and when we got to that point, it's like, oh my gosh, Joey Lawrence would lose his mind with this. Like, they're really taking strike first, strike hard, no mercy to hard in this. Jeez, because in the regular dojo, it just is like, what was it, like Heart of Power,
something like that.
Yeah, or something like that. So that's like Miyagi-Do.
Yeah,
Miyagi-Do. And then and Lady Benson has Cobra Kai. She took over Cobra Kai. She had a hostile takeover of Cobra Kai, which somehow went international. She kicked Joey Lawrence out, and now she has mind controlled the children to program her evil robot double of
Superman, Ultraman.
Of Ultraman Zearth. It's like Ultraman Shadow or Dark Ultraman. They called him a couple different things. And because that's how the movie opens, with just a PS2 cutscene of them fighting. And I just wrote context, please. Now they explain it later, but that's a very Japanese storytelling thing to do, to just drop you in and explain things later.
The evil clone beats him up in an Arctic place, and later on he learns that the other one's a clone of that's Superman.
Yes, I definitely did not think of this the first time I saw it, but I kept thinking, oh my gosh, James Gunn's Superman ripped this off so bad.
There's all tropes.
Spoiler warning: we have the evil double named Ultraman, who is of our hero, and we have another villain who is yelling commands at him while he is beating up the hero because she can't be bothered to do it herself.
Yeah, they're just good tropes to use for these sort of things. So it's a straightforward, fun little thing.
Yeah, and in this one, because I said it's like Ultraman Zearth is the Ultraman who just has to face trauma all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, because in the first one it was Mysophobia, maybe even hypochondria. I wouldn't be surprised. It could easily lead to that. And now it's PTSD. He seemed perfectly fine.
He was perfectly fine.
He seemed perfectly fine. In the bit that we saw, but then he gets his butt handed to him, and then Ultraman Dark, whatever, brings out his brass knucks, basically.
Yeah. He loses once, and he's like, I'm a horrible superhero.
Yeah, I'm a horrible superhero. Because Ultraman Shadow is just like, I'm going to assume you are dead, and just flies away.
And so after,
and then anytime he sees anybody do anything, because the kids who are being mind controlled have what looks like those brass knucks, he like freaks out. He's traumatized the entire time. It's just like, that's your entire life, isn't it? It's just you dealing with trauma. You got a new trauma and a new mental illness every week. It's just a new one.
So they made a third one. Like, what's his new trauma this time?
Well, I can tell you, might as well bring it up here. Yeah. What little detail is known about what was going to be Ultraman Zearth 3 was he was going to find out that Ultraman King, who obviously, going off of the name, is one of the leaders of the planet that he is from, that all the Ultramen are from. He would find out that Ultraman King is his dad.
Okay,
and that's all we know.
They set that up a little bit this time.
Yeah, they set that up a little bit. So I don't know what the trauma would have been. Maybe it would have been abandonment issues. That's what it would have been. Ultraman Zearth would just be like, my dad didn't like me. He dropped me off on this planet so he could go rule the land of light.
You want me to conquer it, but I'm actually a nice guy.
So it would have been abandonment issues.
Yeah.
It was just like, what am I going to do? But then the girl will play the flute and everything will be fine.
Just tell her. Just tell her you're Ultraman already. It's so funny because this has a flashback when he was about ready to say that in the first one. So, but we don't even get a connecting scene at this. Like she turns into a zombie. He rescues all of them.
She turns into a zombie because Ultraman Shadow has zombification eye lasers.
Yep.
Okay. What? As I said, like, you know, he goes home after work and Lady Benson is like, well, what did you do today? Well, what did I tell you to do today? Because she wants to make sure he's paying attention.
Yeah.
And he's like, I strolled through. Nope. Wait, we got to do this right.
I strode through the city and turned everyone into zombies with my eye lasers.
Yeah, she would be like, mwah, ha,
No, is that?
Oh, there you go. That's better.
It's
swear. Fantastic. I love that.
I swear. I have seen so much Japanese media that has villainesses who laugh exactly like that. It's like there has to be a patient zero with it. It's like this has to be a reference somehow. It is so common that somebody must have started this trend.
I wish
even some of my pseudo sisters villains laugh like this. It's a little bit disturbing.
Interesting. But he beats the bad guy and everything, and then he like does this weird golden light, and then it's the end. I'm like, it would have been nice for you to talk to. Oh, I guess he does come back as human version and says hi to her. But like,
the girl's barely in this one.
It really isn't. Yeah,
she is barely like she does almost nothing in this. Because she gets mind controlled.
The girl, the boy, who I don't know is her brother or her nephew, or anyway, the boy's in a lot more.
Yeah, and he spends most of his time yelling because this is the only tone he has as a child actor.
Yeah.
Yelling and rage. Ultraman Zearth is such a loser. I hate him.
Yeah. He broke his plaster of Paris version of Ultraman Zearth. And
he broke one of his toys. I hate him.
Yeah.
Because somehow somebody in the news got footage of him getting his butt kicked in the Arctic. I don't know how, but they did it. I hate him.
Yep.
It's like you are a prime target for Joey Lawrence right here. Okay, like you are going to get recruited by Cobra Kai. But I was saying, like, you know, how very different would Cobra Kai have been if Joey Lawrence was using literal mind control? Like he was MK Ultra-ing these kids.
That would, there you go.
You know, actually, it wouldn't be what he would do. It would be what's his name who takes over later. The villain from the original movie. I can't remember his name. He would be the guy who would do that because he actually had military. He actually had military experience.
Yeah.
So he would completely
do it.
He would totally do it. Like that would completely change everything in this show. Like it's literal brainwashing. But yeah, apparently playing the Virtual Boy will rot your brain before brain rot was a thing and give you a headache. Yep. Yeah, especially when you're punching PS1 graphics. That's what we had.
Legitimately, it
looked like Virtua Fighter. Like that was Virtua Fighter.
Or like Final Fantasy VII in the Golden Saucer and you're Cloud and you play like the Polygon Cloud fighting each other. You remember that
Yes.
that arcade game? Basically that. Yeah, it's basically what it was.
Yeah, like the thing is watching this, I honestly wish it had been funnier. Like I don't think I mentioned this earlier. I prefer the first movie because it's funnier. This one, it's got a lot going for it, but I really wish it had been funnier. I almost wonder. I try to remember if they actually wrote this script originally to be. I think that was actually what happened. I think they originally. Yes, I'm going to double check my notes, but they originally wrote the script to be funny and then toned it down in revisions.
You could easily have you could have had the same plot and just up the humor, played it a little different, filmed it a little different.
Yep. The director, Konaka, toned down the comedic elements to make it more serious and more traditional.
Yeah, I could see.
And he was specifically imitating an Ultra Series writer. And if you want to hear more about this guy, Toshihiro Iijima, I talk about him in Henshin Power V3 because we covered the original Ultraman show in that. And because the Saito, the original screenwriter, who was inexperienced, admittedly, with the franchise, but he was basing this on a Hong Kong action comedy.
Okay.
that was called, it was from 1982, and it was called Aces Go Places.
There's a title.
Well, they changed it when it was released outside. Well, it says in the US, it went by 2 different titles. It was either Diamond Finger.
Okay.
I guess it's an upgrade from Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Or Mad Mission.
Those are very different titles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But Aces Go Places.
All right.
So there you go. You can tell this was originally supposed to be a comedy, and I wish it had.
Yeah.
I wish it had embraced that more, because it feels. I don't want to say it gives the audience tonal whiplash, but it definitely feels a little inconsistent.
Yeah,
like
I would
it's
agree with
like
that.
it wants to go as crazy as that first movie,
It just won't.
but you could tell something's holding
They're
it back.
playing it straight when it should not be played quite as straight.
Yeah, because this plot, we've already been like the way we've been talking about it. We're all. I think we've made it abundantly clear. And if you listen to the entertaining info dump, we made it abundantly clear. This plot is equally as absurd, as the first one, but it's trying to take itself seriously, which is
unfortunately
just weird. And I'm not saying that an absurd plot can't take itself seriously. There's plenty of examples of that, and I think there are points where that is a very good idea, particularly in the day and age in which we live. I do think people want sincerity. They're sick of irony at this point. It's just like, can you just embrace this?
Yeah. I think it would have been better.
Be sincere with this. People want sincerity now, even if it's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I don't think this quite gets there. I do think it's sincere, but you can tell they wanted to be funny.
It's a little, I agree. Yeah.
But they held themselves back, and I think that hurts the movie for me. But that's the thing. That's why I started our conversation off by asking you which one of these movies did you like better, because I can't find a consensus. Some of the sources I looked at said they liked the first one more. My friend John LeMay, because I have to name drop John LeMay. It's scratch that off of your MIFE bingo. John prefers the first one because he thinks it's funnier. Other people prefer the second one because they think it's the production values go up in the second movie.
They need to combine the two. They need to put them together.
And then you would get the Ultraman Zearth 3 where he has daddy issues.
Yes. But funny, sincere daddy issues.
Funny, sincere daddy issues. I just need Ultraman King to say, Zearth, I am your father. Well, no. We got to we have to do this the correct way.
Zearth, I am your father.
I am having way too much fun with this. I keep saying that. Don't spoil my fun. It's your fault. You got this for me. Just saying. I'm just saying. One of your regrets in life. All right, whatever. Kaiju lovers, send us feedback. Let Jimmy know that he's wrong. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so it's totally inconsistent because it's so wacky. Like, this plot is so wacky.
It is wacky.
And I think,
and there's times when it's ridiculous, but not enough.
Yeah, not enough.
Like their captains or whatever through the
because one of them is Ultra 7.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up the actor's name. I'm embarrassed that I can't remember his name.
You mean the two comedy guys?
No, not the two comedy
that's what
guys.
I'm talking about.
We mentioned the comedy guys.
I know, but they're ridiculous. Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's where they lean into the sort of humor he had in the first one.
Yeah, Koji Moritsugu, who played Dan Moriboshi in Ultra 7.
Okay.
He is their captain in this.
Yeah.
Because kind of replacing the guy who died, and they also had to change some cast members around because some of the people from that comedy sketch show could be in and some couldn't, so they had to shuffle things around. But it's also because they were throwing in stuff that's more references to Ultra 7. Because I think, as strange as the first movie was, you were, as the kids would say, you were vibing with it pretty well. But then you actually had more confused reactions in the second one. And one of them was when the capsule monster showed up.
Yeah,
I'm like,
what is this? Yeah.
And like, what is this? As like, And I said it's from Ultra 7 because he had capsule monsters.
I mean, I didn't
and
mind
it
the
paves
capsule
the way
monster,
for Pokemon and
but
things
but
like
it,
that.
it didn't add anything. It just added time.
It's just there because they wanted to make a reference and they wanted to have a cute monster in there. And that monster is meant to be like a combination of, I looked it up. It's supposed to be a combination of like Pigmon, who's a cutesy monster from the original show, and one other monster. And if I showed you a picture of Pigmon, you would immediately see. And Miraclon, by the way, is his name.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be a combination of Pigmon and a capsule monster from Ultra 7 called Miklas.
Okay.
And if I showed you both of those, you'd be like, yeah, I see it.
Yep. Okay.
But not to be outdone, because apparently Lady Benzine came prepared for this. Is like, oh, you is like you have
everything.
a capsule monster. Well, so does my Ultraman. And then she summons Darkler, I think is the thing's name. And then so we get a random kaiju fight between these, and because Ultraman Dark is a robot, he can't be bothered to do anything. He just stands there.
Yep, stands there.
He just stands there. He doesn't react.
Screensaver mode.
He's in screensaver mode. He just does nothing. And those two monsters go at it. And then by sheer cuteness, Miraclon gets the upper hand and actually knocks Darkler into him. And then suddenly Ultraman Dark is like, I suddenly care. My monster has been thrown at me.
Yeah.
Because he actually makes a noise. He just stands there and then he's like, oh, like he actually makes a noise reacting. I'm like, that's what you get for not being bothered. All right. So you were just like, what the heck is going on? But then happens once, never happens again. Even though you would think it would come in handy later.
But it doesn't. Like, Father, thank you for this capsule monster that did nothing. Yeah.
Well, it did something. But it has
didn't help
basically no plot relevance.
No, it didn't help him with his trauma. It didn't help him win the last battle. It didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. If they had at least brought them back, like, if they had like a secondary fight or something like that.
Chekhov's gun went off, but didn't do anything.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just to point out, they did have a little bit. This might have been the entire reason that they did this, but Mr. Moritsugu, they argue in some of the sources I looked at that he kind of breaks the fourth wall, but I think I might have missed. I don't know if they subtitled it. I think they subtitled it this way, but he says a line in Japanese, and the line in Japanese, it's Natsukashi, which is supposed to be an expression in Japanese where about being reminded of the good old days. And I think when it gets subtitled, it comes out as how nostalgic.
Yeah.
So that might have been the entire reason they did it.
It probably
because they're like, oh, we've got Dan Moriboshi, so
he's doing capsule monster.
Well, he's like, oh, it's his capsule monster, so it's a joke. Again, but you know what? That scene might have benefited from it being funnier.
Yeah.
Because at least you can be like, oh, haha, guys.
But like you're like tonally, you're like, am I laughing or am I take this serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's uneven.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like the second movie works best when it's leaning into the funny.
Yeah. Well, I think this is why the second one's like production wise probably better, but the first one's gonna be more memorable.
Yeah, I would agree with you there because we were making plenty of jokes ourselves.
Yeah.
Going through this, he talks to his dad and I said, "Thanks, Jor-El." And he said, "Mufasa," because his dad it just looks like a star.
Yep.
Which apparently, going off of what would have been movie 3, that's Ultraman King.
Yep.
That's his dad.
There you go.
You know, although what's a little confusing about that is his place of origin, which I think we would have seen in movie 3. I think I've seen some some concept art for that. Shout out to Edwin Gonzalez, one of my biggest fans, who in our Discord server, the Marcolite Lounge, which you should totally join. Check the show notes for links. He actually found some of that concept art. Now, the original Ultraman is from a place called the Land of Light, which, as Ultraman lore gets developed, eventually becomes a city.
Okay.
On their home planet, which is Planet Ultra, because of course.
Yeah. And
Zearth is from the Land of Bright.
Oh, okay.
So it's apparently not quite the same place.
No.
But apparently
They're
that can also be
smart there.
translated as like sparkles or something. Again, going back to the gas station tie-in, apparently, according to Kevin Darendorf. But yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And his dad's advice to him is temper your heart. That is as much as we get about some sort of a lesson he needs to learn.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how he applied that.
No.
When it came to killing Wilson.
No. No.
As I told you, it's like his thing is he's dealing with PTSD right now. He is going to hate volleyballs for the rest of his life.
Yes.
He's going to take a bloody hand and put it on Wilson and then crush him or something. That's a little dark for this. That's a little. That is a little dark. But we mentioned the Gaijin guy, and he's weird. He was making noises where he's like, he's doing his kata, and I'm like, is he hucking up a loogie? What is this?
Yeah.
Again, they should have leaned into the funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just bizarre. And like, come on, a martial arts comedy where he's trying to hit the thing and the ridiculous master, like it's all here. And then I'm amazed they let this joke stand. But I said to you, it was like with all these cameos, because we get Mr. Suzumu again in this, playing I think a different character. And I was like, this is inside joke inception right here, because he sees Ultraman Dark doing his stroll through the city, zombifying people with his eye lasers, as you do.
Yeah, I do.
As you do. Yeah, seriously, I do it every day. But, ow. Sorry, headache again.
Okay.
And he's like, oh no, I'm going. Like, I think the idea is he's supposed to be like a crazy old man who thinks he's going to stop him or something. And he does that's the transformation pose. Because in the original show, he would hold up his beta capsule, and that's how he would transform. And that's where you get the traditional, they call it the Ultraman Rise, where it's the one fist in the air.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's supposed to be he's growing while he's holding the transformation device. Every Ultraman does that.
Yeah.
All right, it's a thing. Well, he holds it up. He holds something up, and it's a spoon. That is a reference to one episode that was played for laughs. It was basically the show parodying itself.
Yeah.
Where he is reaching for the beta capsule, and instead he grabs a spoon and holds it up first. He's like, oh, and then he gets the beta capsule and goes to fight the monster. I'm like, guys, that's a bit deeper of a cut than normal.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I still think the joke works on its own, where it's like, why is this old man holding a spoon over his head? And if you'd seen the first movie, you would at least see like, oh, that's Ultraman. We saw the Ultraman statue, which was gold. That was the other thing that disappeared. The Ultraman statue gets like sucked underground and everyone freaks out.
Yeah.
Also, interesting thing in that first movie, they had these banners of flags. It wasn't just Japan's flag. They had flags from all over the world.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's very Japanese. Subaraya has wanted to make Ultraman an international brand for a long time, but legal issues that I have no time to get into. It'll be a Toku topic for a future episode. That kept them from doing that.
Okay.
And only now have they been able to start doing that. And boy, howdy, have they been really aggressive about it.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, we have all of this going on. I joked it's like it kind of turns into Dawn of the Dead here, because we have they put them in like gray makeup.
They do,
to make them look kind of undead. It's just. Yeah. And I was like, why aren't you leaning into this? I had a joke in there when it was the three bully characters from before, and they're coming after the kid again, and they've been zombified. It's like, no, not the three ninjas. Yeah. That's a deep cut reference. The other thing that you were just like, what? That just puzzled you was Kanegan, the Teletubby.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I forgot his name.
We realized he had a TV in his stomach. It's like, he's a Teletubby.
I was just not expecting, like, from the first one, like, there was no, like, aliens running around or monsters. I mean, friendly monsters.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's Kanegan. That was one of those references that you were just like, you're just confused. Like, that seemed to be, it's like they kind of lead harder into the nostalgia in this.
Yeah.
And that confused you even more, whereas the first movie was more accessible for you.
In that way, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, it's Kanigan. He's from Ultra Q, which was this kind of Twilight Zone meets X-Files sort of show that predated Ultraman. It's technically the start of the franchise.
Okay.
And they had an episode with Kanigan, and Kanigan is supposed to be a money bag.
Okay.
Because they did this episode. I need to rewatch it. You would actually probably really like it because it's done like a fable.
Okay.
It's about a kid who's greedy.
Okay.
And he gets turned into Kanigan, and he keeps running around trying to eat money, but no matter how much money he eats, he's never satisfied.
Okay. That's a cool idea. In this film, he's just kind of a quirky little...
Yeah. That initial meeting is completely removed, and Kanigan's come back a handful of times since then in Ultra shows, and they drop that in almost
he's
every
kind of
single
a fun
one.
sidekick sort of thing.
He's just a goofy sidekick.
Okay.
Yes, just like you. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, he's a Teletubby, and I think it's supposed to be a slightly different version of Kanigan. It's like digital Kanigan or something like that in this, but yeah, they try to up the ante a lot. There's more cameos in this one. I'm gonna look up that list of cameos because there's a bunch of them in this one. Let's see. Yeah, you had Hideki Go from The Return of Ultraman. He's a TV reporter, and he's the guy who literally says Ultraman has returned. I'm like, nice job, nice job, guys. And I mentioned Moritsugu, and then everybody from the original show except for the commander comes back in this. Although they have, like I mentioned, they have a picture of him, and he's apparently the one actor. He actually sees, because they do the joke with the old lady again with Hiroko Sakurai, where she sees, doesn't just see it open, she sees the entire building rise up so they can launch one great big airplane out of it. And I think she's the only one who sees it at first, and then he sees it going, and he looks over at this picture of his dad, is like, you were right, or something like that. So they paid tribute to him because he, like I said, he died between movies.
Okay.
So they upped the ante on that. There's even more cameos because now we got 2 more Ultras in it, because Hideki Go was the Ultraman in Return of Ultraman.
Okay, yeah.
So they're throwing in even more at this point, which actually kind of paves the way for some future Ultraman movies that will all be covered on the show this season, where they bring back past actors, not in cameos, but they're playing actual characters.
Okay.
In this, they're actually reprising their roles from the original. Well, in one they do, and in another one they sort of do. It's a little weird, but yeah. So I prefer the other one. I have to bring this up because they said, like, we figured out that Ultraman Dark has a weak spot. It's his color timer.
Yep.
So the big flashing thing on his chest is his weak spot. Kind of right out there. I'm just saying. It's kind of like you mentioned Power Rangers. It's kind of like how in the second season they had a new kind of putties, and those putties were absolutely invincible except for the giant Z's on their chest.
Or
punch those, they explode. Instant kill.
Any NES like final boss, it's like whatever's flashing, hit that.
Yeah. So I'm like, wow, it's like Batman. It's been established that Batman he dresses in all black, sometimes blue, but all black, except for the big yellow logo on his chest. And it's like, why would you do that? It's like, I put extra armor there because I know that the criminals will actually shoot that because they can see it. Big brain thinking there. World's greatest detective. Whatever. So I'm like, wow, it's the same thing. Forgetting that Lady Benzine knows what she's doing.
Yep.
And took precautions. She put extra armor there. I'm like, oh, she did take care of that. She is a brilliant supervillain. Yeah. She actually knows what she's doing. She still loves to monologue, but she knows what she's doing. She loves to talk.
She does.
So does her boyfriend.
They both love to talk.
We have to talk about this scene. Yes, it is arguably, not definitely, it is arguably a not safe for work scene. I'm like, the children, Super Riot Productions, the children, both in the movie and watching the movie. Her boyfriend calls. And his face is like, oh, I'm so proud of you.
Yes.
And then she blows. Keep in mind, these are two suit actors in rubber monster suits. I don't know if the suit actors for this are listed. I should look that up here. More than likely, they're both dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, howdy, Lady Benzine definitely looks like a lady. Because those pecs are a little rounder, and she's got some serious birthing hips. I'm just saying. So she blows him a kiss when they're talking. They're doing a video call.
Yeah.
All right. They're talking on Skype or Zoom. Zoom because Skype is dead now. But they're talking on Zoom, and he catches the kiss and puts it on his mouth. And then over the phone call, like this is the WTH What the Henshin moment from Henshin Men.
Yeah.
This is the award winner here. We do the same bit from the first one where the first one is just like, okay, it looks like the kaiju is peeing on him, which is already kind of gross. He does this for her, and she makes noises indicating she's enjoying this. And I'm like, Japan, what? And it goes to where if she was human, she would have cleavage. I'm like, this is a little weird. This is banned on YouTube. This scene is banned on YouTube. We can't. I was just like, what's going on here? That one, I was like, I can work with a lot of things. This, I don't know what this is. I just throw my hands up at that point. T to the maximum I. TMI. Seriously, man. No. We're a family show, dang it. Anyway, what was your take on that one?
I just rolled with it.
Yeah, I did not need to know how they were going to make little benzines. I'm just there's something wrong with that couple, and she gets away like her boyfriend.
They just go away.
Yep. She doesn't. At least her boyfriend actually picked a fight with Zearth. She's just waits for she just has the robot do everything, and then when he gets beat, she's like, "You have beaten me this time, Zearth."
Yeah.
But I'll be back, and I will take all of the humans' faith, and then you won't be able to do anything about it until we meet again. And then like,
yep, and that's it.
And that's it. I'm like, okay. I see how you work. Make everybody else do the work.
Yep.
Gotcha. At least your boyfriend did something. If they made movie 3, it would just be like her bossing him around the entire time. It was just like, it's like, go. You kill him. And that is my headcanon. Mr. Benzin, whatever, is totally henpecked.
Okay.
I mean, like, look at her. I mean, she's a little intense.
She is intense.
She's a little intense. He's ridiculous. She's intense.
Yes.
That might be why they're perfect for each other.
They are perfect for each other.
Yeah. Oh, and Kanigan's a magic 8-ball because they ask him questions and
that's true.
He calculates probability on his stomach.
Yep. Why not?
Yeah. Because they ask him questions like, what's the likelihood this is going to happen? And also their new captain, because they have a new captain. He has a laptop strapped to his chest.
Which is kind of hilarious, actually. They could really lean into that humor, too.
I need that because I take my laptop with me everywhere. I'm always working on something. Seriously, I need that. Can we make that a thing? Can we please make that a thing?
Go for it.
I don't care what company is listening to this. You need, I don't know what you would call that.
Like a baby carrier.
It's like a baby carrier for laptops. I need this.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Screw you and your phone and tablet cases. Give me a laptop baby carrier.
Yep.
You even call it that. Laptop baby carrier. There's your product name. That'll sell. That is printing money.
So you don't need a Switch. You just need or Steam Deck. You just have that.
There you go. That's how you can market it. It's like it's good for it. It's compatible with most models of laptops, MacBooks, Switches, and Steam Decks.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
There you go. take your games everywhere. And when you're not gaming or writing that report, you can eat lunch on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Second, it triples as a bulletproof vest. I don't know.
But yeah, it's made of Kevlar. Just in case, you never know.
Never know. That's the
when those
upgrade.
Corporate spies really want to take you out.
That's the upgrade. Yep.
That's the upgrade. That's the premium model.
Premium. Yep.
That's the premium. This is the premium bulletproof model and made of Kevlar. I don't know.
Big city sell it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, Zearth didn't get a third movie, but he has come back a few times. Apparently there was a Zearth PS1 game when they were making these. It was like that must be where the graphics in the not Cobra Kai came from. And he's come back in some theatrical shorts called New Century Ultraman Legend in 2002-2003, and he came back in a massive crossover special that was a web series called Ultra Galaxy Fight: The Destined Crossroads.
Oh, wow.
Which basically brought back almost every Ultraman ever. It was like the Avengers Endgame of Ultraman in that. And Shadow has come back in a web series called Ultraman Regulos First Mission in 2023. They waited that long.
Wow, yeah.
And I have seen that. Yeah, he was one of... It's a new Ultraman named Regulos. It's very martial arts themed, and they brought him back.
That makes sense.
As a bad guy that he had to take care of.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Ultraman Zearth 1 and 2. I still have some leftover notes as usual. Like I said, subscribe to MIFE Max on Patreon. You can hear them all.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
So today, I want to tell you about the first show from this network that I guested on, talking about Henshin heroes, I might add, including at least one Ultraman, and that's The Rushmore Show. The Rushmore Show is a place for ranking the ultimate top 4 in sports, video games, nostalgia, movies, and so much more. Each week, Andy and Kirk spark engaging discussions and friendly debates, making The Rushmore Show your compass in the realm of pop culture rankings. Find them at youtube.com/The Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top 4 and nothing more. Today's Toku topic, kind of two Toku topics. So, again, you're going to have to help me with the Greek on this one. So, Mysophobia.
It's in Myso. It's pi.
Okay. So, I'm going to go with Mysophobia.
Iota.
Yeah, there you go. But it's M-Y.
No, it's Y. It's not even a Y.
I'll get to the etymology here in a bit for both of these. Maybe you can help me out because they're both Greek.
Yeah. It's been quite a while. So
of course, they're Greek, right?
Yeah. Or Latin, one, too. Yeah.
Yeah, of course they're Greek. So I'm going to start with Mysophobia because that is clearly what he's dealing with.
Yes, absolutely.
In the first movie, it's not hypochondria. The definition that I got for Mysophobia on Wikipedia is, which has other names, so strap in, also known as verminophobia, germophobia, germophobia, and then germophobia.
Okay.
Changing those vowels makes a big difference. And bacillophobia and bacteriophobia.
All right.
But it is a pathological fear of contamination and germs.
Makes sense, yeah.
There are other definitions, but that is the most straightforward, straightforward one that I found. People are afraid of
germs
getting dirty. Some of the sources I looked at added dirt to that, which makes sense for poor Zearth in this.
Yeah.
And So, quick little history about this. The first diagnosis for this was actually in 1879
Nice.
by an American military physician and neurologist named William A. Hammond. And he also, well, he coined the term is what I should say. Describing, I should say, a case of obsessive compulsive disorder or OCD.
Yes, absolutely.
Which often accompanies mysophobia, but not always.
Okay, that would make sense.
And it was because he was talking about how these OCD people were constantly washing their hands.
Yeah.
So it comes from, here's where you can help me out. It comes from the Greek word mysos,
Okay.
which means uncleanness,
Okay.
and phobos, meaning fear.
Yeah.
So it's fear of uncleanness, but it's mysos, MYSOS.
I'm gonna say it's mysos, but I don't
Mysos.
know. Yeah. I could be
That
wrong.
makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, because why is it you got hyperbole? You got the I a lot.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the exact cause for mysophobia is unknown. Some think it could be connected to genetics because it's been observed that if you have a family history of mental illness, there's a stronger possibility you could get it.
Predisposition for it.
Yeah, predisposition. Some also think it might be related to brain structure, trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, howdy, does poor Zearth definitely have lots of trauma. Or an environment. So it could be culturally related. Like if you came from a culture that prized cleanliness, you'll be obsessed with it. And this was weird. I saw a source that said that there was a psychologist who argues that it comes from an ignorance of microbes.
An ignorance microbes?
I guess not understanding how they work.
Yeah, I don't think logic is most people's problem.
Yeah,
with this thing.
or a lack of time spent in nature.
I guess you haven't been acclimated to just the messiness of nature. Maybe you live in a very
I think
sterile.
that's the idea.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because nature is not clean.
It is not clean.
It is very messy. Look at the island. It is very messy. And this was an interesting thing. They're wondering if mysophobia is at least partly to blame for the increase in immune disorders. Some scientists.
Okay, I wonder if it's mysophobia or just, well, okay, because there's the clinical mysophobia, and then there's just like, hey, we think things need to be clean, like not a phobia, it's just like we're clean freaks sort of thing.
Clean freaks, yeah. There is a difference. It's supposed to be it's pathological, it's obsessive,
but
it's interfering with your normal day to day.
I wonder how many people, just because modern life can be so clean, and
COVID stuff I understand.
That creates the. I think some of that immune. I
yeah. Well, their argument is that because people are
you need to be exposed to
are not being exposed to as much stuff.
I agree.
Normal levels of dirt in the household, especially when they're infants, that their immunity is lower.
Yeah, I think that's probably very. I don't know if true, but certainly probably part of it.
Yeah. And they've been particularly wondering about this in the aftermath of the pandemic.
Yes.
Been thinking about that. Interestingly, do you know that there have been, can you think of any high profile sufferers of mysophobia? Might surprise you a little bit. Some of them might also get me kicked off of YouTube.
I don't know if I know.
Well,
I feel like there's.
Well, I'll tell you the one. I'll tell you the non-controversial ones. At least I think they're technically not controversial. Although this guy's controversial in and of himself. Howard Stern.
Okay, now these are known, not assumed. Okay,
according these are high-profile people. So you have Howard Stern, the shock jock, Nikola Tesla.
Okay, I can see that.
Howard Hughes.
Okay.
Howie Mandel.
Okay, yeah.
Now, that one I know. I definitely know about.
Yeah.
And then here are the ones that might get me kicked off of YouTube for the YouTube versions of this. Saddam Hussein.
Okay.
The Mustache Man himself, Adolf Hitler.
Huh.
And Donald Trump.
Interesting. Huh. That's quite the collection.
Apparently, being a tyrant comes with mysophobia, and I'm not identifying who all the tyrants are. You be the judge. Yeah, not touching that one. Although there's a couple of on there I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
We can all agree on. Wow. Just wow. So, some symptoms of mysophobia.
Hand washing.
That's one of them. Yes. Most of these came from one source. I think he's supposed to be a Chinese fella. Was it Jiaqi Zhou?
Okay.
Or Zhao? Actually, it's probably how you're supposed to say it.
Yeah.
Zhou. That's his last name. I'm assuming it's a guy. I could be wrong. I don't know my Chinese names nearly as well. But anyway, so the umbrella for all these are behaviors that involve avoiding contamination.
Yep.
Tell me how many of these you saw in the movie.
These sound very Leviticus. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. That was something. Wow. On that one. Yeah. I had to shuffle back over there because I was like, do I want to play it for that one? Yeah, I'll play it for that one. But tell me if any of these sound familiar from the movies today. Yeah. Avoiding places that are thought to contain a lot of germs or dirt.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mud pit.
Avoiding physical contact.
Yes.
Brain fog.
Okay, yeah.
Extreme fear of becoming contaminated.
Yeah, his screaming face.
His screaming face. Excessive hand washing.
Yep.
As both human and Ultraman.
Yep.
When he's an Ultraman, he's washing his hands in a waterfall.
Yep.
I kind of love that scene. Yeah. It was pretty cool. Obsessing over cleanliness.
Yep.
Overusing cleaning or sanitizing products.
Yep. Toothbrush.
And when exposed to dirt or germs, you may experience one of the following: crying, heart palpitations, shaking, and sweating.
Okay. Yeah, that seems pretty much him.
Or Katsudo. And because of all this, it can lead to social isolation.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Luckily, he was
That's
not.
when you know it's really bad.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't do that. He was a pretty sociable guy.
Yeah.
He's still a little paranoid, but he's a sociable guy. But that's why he has the toothbrush. Which is why the toothbrush doesn't make nearly as much sense in the second movie.
No.
He only used it once, and only really quick in one scene, but it's not it's not the big deal that it was in the first one. Yeah. A little bit. He still needed it. So, some potential treatments that you can use for mysophobia. And this is where some of the stuff is going to overlap between this and hypochondria.
Yeah.
But apparently the most recommended treatment for this, because it's basically a mental illness. It's a little hard to diagnose because it's not something.
It's kind of a form of OCD a lot of times.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because it's a psychological condition. It's not, even though, as you'll see, they try to treat it physically, but the most commonly prescribed treatment is cognitive behavior therapy, or CBT.
Mm-hmm.
And this, according to Mr. Zhao, quote, involves identifying and changing the negative thought patterns that contribute to the phobia.
I wonder, I've also heard with some OCD you could do, I'm going to get it wrong, ERB? Where you constantly expose them to a little more and a little more.
Oh, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Because the next one, possible treatment, we definitely saw in the movie.
Yes.
Exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Which focuses on gradually and progressively exposing people to the source of their fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then over time, people are able to learn to relax and fear responses begin to lessen. That is also from Mr. Zhao.
Mm-hmm.
At least that was literally his final trial. That was the end of his hero's journey in that first movie. Wade through the mud, and then he falls into the mud. And then the pretty girl plays the flute, and he's fine.
There you go. Everyone needs a pretty girl to play her flute.
Working on that. Tell Natasha she needs to take up flute playing.
That's true. I should do that. She got the guitar, but she needs to do the flute.
It's like,
Kazoo,
guitar
is
like, you're like, Natasha, the guitar is sexy and all that, but can you play a flute?
Kazoo. We'll take
a kazoo. We'll take it. That seems like something for you. Like
that's me. That's more what I play.
That is what will resurrect you to go off and be a superhero, is a kazoo.
The kazoo. I like it. Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah. But they also do prescribe some medications to deal with this, as you do with a lot of psychological disorders, because they went
a combination of things.
Yeah, a combination of things that might help with the cognitive behavioral therapy. And I'm probably going to say these very wrong because
they're medicine.
Because the names of drugs sound like alien planets in Star Trek.
Yep. Or Tolkien elves.
Yeah, or Tolkien elves. Yeah, that's a bit of a thing. It's like, drug or Tolkien.
Yeah, I've done that on my podcast.
Yeah, you did. I remember that. And you only got about half of them right. Well, no, you actually got a lot of them right. But here you go. So you can tell me if these sound Tolkien-esque. Well, I should know that too because I love Tolkien. But Soromycin,
okay,
or D-cycloserine, and it's a D with a hyphen.
Yeah.
And then glucocorticoids. That sounds very druggish. That's not Tolkien at all.
No.
Beta blockers, which are, for those who don't know, those are medications that manage abnormal heart rhythms or arrhythmia. And those are, like I said, those are sometimes prescribed to go along with that. Yeah. There's also, I found on one article, some coping strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. So if the drugs and the therapy aren't quite enough, you can try these. Deep breathing, mindfulness.
Yep.
I'm not even sure what that is anymore. Getting regular exercise.
Yep.
Okay. Getting enough sleep.
Yep.
What's that? Gradually exposing yourself to your fear.
Yeah.
So dive into the mud.
Gradually.
I mean, he was doing it gradually, and then he sank because Mr. Benzene is a cheater and has Time Lord mud ponds or something. I don't know. Lowering caffeine intake. What's that? I can't do that. I'm sorry. It's one of the sources of my power. Anyway. Lecture me later. Anyway, meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got mindfulness on here again. Oops, I didn't. I forgot.
Be mindful of the mindfulness.
Yeah, be mindful of the mindfulness. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and yoga.
Mm-hmm.
I hear it can help you learn how to breathe fire.
Oh, really? That's nice.
Yeah, there's this guy from India who does it all the time.
Yeah, he's got fighting too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
On the streets.
Yep.
Yeah. And they also recommend getting into support groups for mysophobia. Wonder how those go. Mysophobics Anonymous.
Yeah, I don't know. They're like,
is it just like a line? It's like a circle of hand sanitizer on the table. And then they're like, whatever you do, don't touch it. You can't have it. And then if someone tries to use it, they slap them on the wrist or something. Or they make them go outside and kick Wilson.
There you go.
When he's 10 feet off the ground.
Yep. Keep landing very hard in the mud.
There, we're going to combine the movies.
There we go. It works.
We're combining the movies. So that gives you an idea of what that is. And that's definitely Zearth.
That is Zearth.
And now because I'm committed to the bit, as I said, I'm going to explain why hypochondria doesn't quite apply.
Yeah.
But there's also another name for hypochondria that it's a much more ridiculous looking name.
Okay.
So it's hypochondria is what more people call it, but it's also called hypochondriasis.
Oh, that's why everyone says hypochondria.
Yeah. And it's, according to Wikipedia, is a condition where a person is excessively and unduly worried about having a serious illness.
Yep.
So,
like, I have a cough. I must have cancer.
Yes. I have a headache. It must be a brain tumor.
Yep.
I swear mine is not a brain tumor.
My mom, she said she used to do that sort of thing.
Yeah. So the main I won't explain how these are different, but let's just get through all this stuff. So this word hypochondria first entered English in 1671, so it predates even mysophobia. And here's the Greek. Help me out here, Nick. Hypochondria refers to soft tissue. The soft tissue atria under the ribs.
Interesting.
Because in ancient times, melancholy, the feeling of melancholy, was thought to come from the liver, gallbladder, and spleen, and this soft tissue.
Okay. Is that like with the humors and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If I remember correctly.
That sounds right.
And it comes from these two Greek words, hypochondrios, which means of the soft parts between the ribs and navel.
All right.
And it comes from hypo, meaning under,
Yep.
and chondros, meaning cartridge, specifically of the sternum.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
under the sternum.
That makes sense.
I guess, or under the cartilage.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And they believed that this hypochondria, that this tissue, produced what is called black bile,
Mm-hmm.
and it was thought to be the source of many ailments.
Yeah.
Then later, it was associated. This hypochondria was associated with the nervous system, and then thanks to our lovely little friend Sigmund Freud in the early 20th century,
Yes, him.
he said it was an actual, in quotes, actual neurosis, and like everything else, tied it to feelings of guilt and sexual repression.
Yep. That sounds like. Yep. That sounds like Freud.
Yep. And this was apparently,
When a hammer, everything's a nail.
yep. And apparently this was the commonly held belief until the 1990s.
Wow.
That's just wild
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. Freud just said stuff, and we're like, "Yep. Okay. Here we go."
Yep. There we go. Here we go. Here's the funny thing. Apparently, it was actually at one point considered fashionable to have hypochondria. It was even a quote unquote desirable disorder because it was seen. Ready for this?
Okay.
According to a guy I looked at named Fishman,
Okay.
it was, quote, perhaps a sign of an intellectual, thoughtful disposition, according to the hypochondria reference material from the Wellcome collection, and it's well with two L's,
That's
end quote.
okay. Well, then there's a way to turn your lemons into lemonade, I guess.
Sounds like something TikTokers do now. Autism is my superpower. They even have a term for it now. They call it weaponized autism. What?
Okay. I had not heard that.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't think you understand what this is.
Yeah.
It's not a superpower for all of you.
Yeah.
Some people, it's completely debilitating. It's the opposite of a superpower.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a can of worms I'm not willing to open right now.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Hypochondria is a widely used term, but it's not an official one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was eliminated from the DSM-5,
Okay.
which is
Yep.
that big, encyclopedia of mental illness, basically. And it was replaced with two other terms.
Okay, which are?
Illness anxiety disorder
Okay.
and somatic symptom disorder.
Okay. So illness, somatic symptom, is that the basically your mind makes you sick?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
And then the other ones you think you're sick.
It's when
but you're not.
when your worry manifests in bodily symptoms that
man.
accompany the belief.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
psychosomatic.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So you basically will yourself into being sick.
Yep.
And then illness anxiety disorder is just you are just worried about getting
Worried
sick.
all the time. It's
Yeah,
your,
worried
it's your
all the
illness
time.
version of being dirty.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. But you already think you are.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And that, I'll get into it right now. That is the difference between mysophobia and hypochondria, and why I realized this, once I looked into it, that this doesn't apply to Ultraman Zearth. He's afraid of being contaminated, probably getting sick, basically. Although I found that there's a different term for that. It's called nosophobia.
Okay. He just doesn't like being dirty.
Yeah, he doesn't like being dirty,
Being
but
contaminated.
germs are probably in there. That's why people are washing their hands and they're using hand sanitizer. That's why some people call it germophobia.
Yeah.
Hypochondria is the fear that you are already sick.
Okay.
You blow symptoms out of proportion.
Yeah, but he doesn't do any of that.
Yeah. And it's psychologist Brian Fallon estimates that about 20 to 25% of hypochondria cases are illness anxiety disorder, and the rest are the somatic symptom disorder.
I can completely understand that.
Psychology Today estimates about 5% of medical visits are because of hypochondria, but I saw estimates as high as 10%, but they also said as much as 10% may suffer from it. And they put a needless strain on the medical system.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Yep. And I also saw that apparently estimates of hypochondria have actually gone up since the pandemic.
No.
In fact, in Australia, it jumped from 3.4% to 21.1%.
Wow. That's crazy.
During the pandemic.
Yeah. Well, you tell everyone, hey, you're going to get sick. They're going to start thinking they're sick.
Again, it's one of the. It might also be a little bit of mysophobia there too. You condition people to be paranoid.
Well, yeah, we're all connected. Your physical, your thoughts,
yeah. The cause of hypochondria is unknown, but it's often connected to personality and neuroticism.
Mm-hmm.
And also people who've had a parent who had it or knew someone close to them who had severe health problems are more likely to have it.
That makes sense.
So if you had a hypochondriac parent, you're more likely to be a hypochondriac.
That's how you were conditioned to think that way.
Yeah, basically. It's the environment that you were in.
Yeah.
So some symptoms of this: you're constantly monitoring your body sensations.
Okay, yep.
This is an interesting one. And I think all of us at some point or another have engaged in this and we've had to stop ourselves. I don't think that means we're all hypochondriacs. No. But there's also a term for this too. They made up a new term for this because that's what we do nowadays.
Yeah.
Obsessive reading of online medical information.
Never go to MD when you think you're sick.
Yeah,
you have cancer.
Yeah, basically that's kind of the joke. You check. It's like you check WebMD. You know what I would love to do if I as like an April Fool's Day gag, and I'll make sure it only lasted for 24 hours just to make sure.
Yeah,
I would intentionally go find something completely innocuous. Like I go see if like the common cold is on WebMD, and just for fun, I would put death as one of the symptoms.
Yeah.
It's just it's like runny nose, cough, death. What? Just to see if anyone caught it for April Fool's Day, and then just get rid of it. But it's like you just read that. It's just like everything says you're gonna die. But there's a term for this.
Okay.
Cyberchondria.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So they do all this for self-diagnosis. That's another thing that hypochondriacs are obsessed with is they love self-diagnosis.
Yes.
Again, TikTok. They're self-diagnosing all the time. In fact, in a German study, half of those using a symptom checker app, apparently those are a thing, are qualified as hypochondriac.
Okay.
Hypochondriacs. Symptom checker app. What is this? That is just crazy to me. There's also another term associated with it I'd never heard of before. Interoception.
Okay.
It is a heightened perception and sensitivity to the inner workings of your body.
Okay, I can see that. People just, oh no, I feel a little weird. My ankle. Okay, I must have bone cancer.
Everything's cancer.
Everything's cancer.
Everything is cancer. That was awful. Anyway, and then here's the other way you can know you're a hypochondriac. You might be a hypochondriac if.
Well, if you're worried you're a hypochondriac, like maybe I am a hypochondriac. I feel bad. I mean,
you have anxiety, even if you're told that the likelihood that you have whatever condition is 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 100,000. Hypochondriacs just always assume I'm the one.
I'm the one. Yep.
I'm the one. Oh no, I'm the one.
Yep. I completely understand that.
Yeah.
Yep.
The funny thing is suicide or unaliving, whatever. I don't bring it on YouTube. I'm not using your silly. That's the new safe way to say it on YouTube.
Obviously, thankfully disconnected from much of internet culture.
Yeah, I love how the euphemisms sound like baby talk.
Yeah.
There's my hot take for the episode. Baby talk censorship. You just strung about 5 of them together. How dare you? I will have none of that on this show. Thank you. So what are I going to put up with?
I don't know.
But anyway, suicide, while 4 times more likely, apparently, with hypochondriacs, at least according to one source I looked at, they said it only occurs in less than 1% of cases, which I guess makes sense because I think hypochondriacs and mysophobes, I guess you could say too, trying to avoid death. So it would seem very extreme that you would end your own life if the goal of this is to avoid death.
Yeah, I don't think that's really their thought process.
Sadly, a 2023 study found that hypochondriacs live an average of 5 years shorter than those who don't have symptoms.
That's sad.
That is sad, but
Right.
that's what worry will do to you.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true.
So treatments for hypochondria,
Death.
education,
Oh, sorry.
making people aware,
Yeah,
and tell them it's like, you're fine. You don't have a problem.
Yeah, help them realize that. Yeah,
You don't have a problem. Antidepressants.
Mm-hmm. Because it could be connected to other stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it has a lot of times it does have connections to other mental
Yeah.
illness. Psychotherapy,
Mhm.
like CBT.
Yep.
Stress management.
Yep.
Limit medical visits. So only go when you have to.
You have to. Yep.
Don't go constantly.
Yep.
I just
What about
imagine.
Bob?
Yeah. What about Bob? Yeah. Well, that's psychological
Yeah.
visits. That's different. And diversion.
Mhm.
So you don't think about it.
Yep. Yeah. Keep busy living, so you're not worried about being sick.
Yeah. There you go. So the way I would say
So,
that.
so turning to Ultraman and beating people up, it keeps you from thinking about yourself.
Fighting monsters and aliens. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Until mud is involved.
Until mud's involved.
Because that's
yeah.
your kryptonite.
Yeah. Being out in nature.
Yeah, well, he was out in nature. Remember, they had to wash his hand in a waterfall.
But he didn't mind just being in the grass and stuff. So that's
That is true. That is true. So, as I mentioned, the way I would connect these two is that one is about the fear of, we'll say, getting sick,
yeah.
and the other one is thinking you are always
Already
sick.
Yeah.
So I can see how one can probably spiral into the other. I wouldn't be surprised if one leads to the other.
Yeah. Or connected. Yeah.
I can see how mysophobia could lead you to become a hypochondriac.
Yeah.
I don't know if being a hypochondriac would lead you to be a mysophobe.
Maybe it depends. No,
Depending on where you are in your thought
I don't know
process,
enough.
it's like, because it seems like hypochondria just thinks there's nothing you can do to prevent it. That seems to be a part of it. That's part
Yeah.
of the anxiety. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Whereas mysophobes are obsessed with avoiding it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You ever heard that Weird Al song about germs?
which one?
I think it's just called Germs or something. It talks about how all these things are crawling on my skin. Anyways.
Oh,
Sure,
that
listen.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. If you really stop and think about it, it's just like, you're not going to totally
No.
avoid it. You just have to do your best and let your body take care of itself. Your body is not that fragile.
No.
Well, most people's bodies
yeah.
are not that fragile. Let me back that up there a little bit. So yeah, you'll be okay.
Unless you're the bad guy from Unbreakable.
Well, he's immune to everything.
No, the bad.
Oh, the
Glass.
bad guy, Mr. Glass. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and which everything wants to kill you.
Yeah.
That just reminds me of this joke. I remember I was showing my mom the Lord of the Rings movies, and she's like, "Well, who's your favorite character?" She's like, "Oh, I like Aragorn." He's like, he's dirty." I'm like, he's a ranger. He's running around in the wilderness all
Yeah.
the time, righting the wrongs of the world. He's like, "Well, who's your favorite?" He's like, "Oh, I like Legolas." Like, no wonder. He's an elf. He's immune to dirt. I was like, I think like you throw mud at an elf and it just flows right off of him like water on a waxed car.
Yeah.
It just falls right off. He doesn't have to worry about it. Elves don't have to worry about mysophobia, mysophobia, or hypochondria because they're freaking elves.
They're elves. They don't.
They just have to worry about getting stabbed.
Basically, yeah.
You can murder an elf. You cannot get an elf sick.
No. You can die from melancholy though.
Oh, this is true.
That's true.
So if you get them depressed enough,
Yeah. About
that's how if you're in Middle Earth, that's how you defeat your elf enemy. You get him depressed enough.
Yeah. Sauron's like, "Yep, I'll just destroy your trees, and then you'll be sad."
Sauron's playing the long game.
well, that wasn't Sauron. I guess that was Melkor.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Melkor. Yeah, he was playing the long game.
Yeah.
It was like, it might take you a while to get depressed enough that you just die, but
Hey,
I'm burning down your trees. Welcome to the Monster Island Film Vault, where occasionally we talk about Tolkien because we connect Tolkien to kaiju and tokusatsu.
Why not?
It's what we do.
Yes.
It is what we do. Well, Nick, it's time to start wrapping things
All right,
up
that
unless
was
you
great.
have any more thoughts to add about hypochondria and mysophobia.
Nope. I'm sick of it. No.
Oh.
Or am I?
Oh.
No. Absolutely not. No, I'm good.
Yeah. I will just say this for anybody who's listening, if you suffer from any of these or related conditions, please get help.
No, legitimately, my mom
Yeah.
used to have that sort of anxiety that would veer
Yeah.
into that whole
Yeah.
like I have a lump on my throat. I must have cancer, sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Take care of yourselves. Get some help. This is something that can be managed and treated.
Yeah.
It's not a hopeless situation.
Mm-hmm.
And if all else fails, throw yourself into a mud pit to defeat your enemies. I'm not gonna let that go.
See your physician first.
Yeah, see your physician first, and then throw yourself. Do some full tilt exposure therapy like Ultraman Zearth. If you learn nothing from Ultraman Zearth, it is the power of exposure therapy.
And that real men get dirty.
And real men get dirty, and real ladies play the flute. To resurrect the real men after they get dirty.
Our moment of zen.
Moment of Zearth. Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm on a roll. All righty. We do actually have some listener feedback I need to get to.
Nice.
We have a couple of new reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I miss reviews on Apple Podcasts. Please send more. They'll get read on the podcast. I will make you famous. Maybe.
Mostly.
Probably not. Nope. ASMR. Anyway, so our latest reviews here. We have one here from a I'm assuming it's a gentleman. I could be wrong, but from username The Slender Spartan. 5 stars. This show has a great host. Why, thank you. Stop popping my ego. Anyway, I look forward to every episode that comes out. I'd also like to point out that it is very informative and Nate puts so much research into each episode. You're welcome. P.S. Love Jimmy from NASA. Oh. Yes, we know you have fans. Are you happy now? See, he got us both in here. We're the two most important people on this podcast. And then we have a really quick one here. By the way, well, I can't, what does it say? It's fun, informative, and great, and it gets cut off on my phone. I can't see the full title. I'm sorry, Slender Spartan. But the other one says, good kaiju fun, also 5 stars, from username Philip Hurd.
Nice.
Like I heard the other day, that sort of a thing. Entertaining and educational, good humor, not hypochondria in the back of the ribs,
that sort of humor.
not the black bile.
Okay.
Yeah, a fun show. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Hurd. That is much, much appreciated. So, like I said, if you would like to send us feedback, leave us some reviews, leave comments on the YouTube channel, or preferably, it's a little easier to manage this way, email us at monsterislandfilmvault@gmail.com. You hear about all this during the credits because you should always listen to the credits. Or you can read the show notes because you should always read the show notes. I put a lot of work in those show notes. I'm just saying. Seriously. Okay? Those are very serious. All right? All right. Which you can read all the full show notes on the monsterislandfilmvault.com website. All righty. And now, Nick.
Yes.
It's time for the Patreon shout-outs.
I shall ask thee once again, will you chant my name?
Starting with the Day Pass tourists, Eli Harris,
Redeemed Otaku,
Eric Anderson of Nerd Chapel,
Winja the Ninja,
Edwin Gonzalez,
Jonathan Courtwright,
Leon Campbell,
Michael Watson,
Eric Pearl. And at the Weekend Pass tourist level,
and for the first time, Devin Torrance,
Matt Walsh, but not that Matt Walsh. Next up, the VIP Pass tourists,
Daniel DeMana,
Christopher Reiner,
Jake Hambrick,
the Cellcast. And then next up, way up there at the Season Pass tourists,
nice, Sam Allred,
Damon Noy, He's our executive producer.
Tofu Fury!
Oh, take that, Wilson. I think we kicked Wilson
I think
out of the
he's-
tree.
He's out of the planet.
Yeah, he is done, and we're gonna go fight Lady Benzine
Let's do it.
and our evil doubles.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I want to deal with my evil double, but I will.
Well, I mean, if someone would have to actually clone you and condition the clone to be evil, because you don't have an evil bone in your whole body.
I'll just go in the. I'll go through the mud and yeah.
There you go. We're not-
You be the bad guy. I'll have to take a mud bath.
Wow. Wow. I feel totally dissed right now. Jeez. Wow. Jeez. Yeah. Dang it, man. All right. So there you go. There you go. Got all the patrons out of the way.
Nice.
If you would like to get shout outs like this, along with other quirks like early access to episodes and behind the scenes materials like my research notes and bonus audio and all that, subscribe for as little as $3 a month on Patreon as a member of MIFV Max or More Awesome Extras. Thanks, Danny. All right. So next couple episodes we have coming up. We're still doing Godzilla Redux, but we have entered a new era of Godzilla Redux. The Heisei series, technically not the Heisei era. We want to be pedantic about this, as we will be in that episode. But the second series of Godzilla films, starting with 1984's, appropriately, The Return of Godzilla, which also had an American re-edit that we will also talk about, but in a separate episode.
Okay.
So there you go. And my guests for that, currently, see how things go, will be kaiju author Neil Reeby, dear friend of mine, and avid Heisei defender, as I like to call him, and MIFE Max member, who we just shouted out, Andrew Winja, Hiya! The Ninja. And then the Ultra Journey, our Ultra Journey, will continue with what ended up replacing Ultraman Zearth 3, a crossover movie between Ultraman Tiga and Ultraman Dyna called Warriors of the Star of Light.
Nice.
I have several people I'm considering for guests for that one. I'm still trying to get some things finalized. Some people are not communicating with me. It's a little annoying. I won't say who my candidates are because I don't want to make promises quite yet, but I've got a few good ones that I'm trying to get onto the show here. I think people will really enjoy hearing. All right, Nick, we now come to the all-important and apparently incredibly meme-tastic, I can talk, I swear, shameless self-promotion. So, what you got?
All I got right now is podcast I do with my friend Tim Deal. We do Let's Finally
Our
Watch
friend,
This.
Tim
Our friend,
Deal,
our
yes.
friend Tim Deal. Let's Finally Watch This, which we go through classic movies that we always meant to watch, and we kind of put them in their historical context and discuss whether they're worth watching, et cetera, et cetera. We're on season 4, yeah, which is all the fives. So
Yeah, I was gonna say the way,
1915,
I was gonna-
1925. So we pick one. movie
It's a
from each
really fun gimmick. I
It
have to
is.
say.
We get to do a whole century plus of movies every season. Yeah. And we just finished season 4, really interesting season. Go find it at, obviously, Let's Finally Watch This, but you can visit our website, dearroadtrainsofthought.com.
That your original podcast, which is on hiatus right now.
Yeah, yep. But there's all our podcasts there. Go listen to our original, Dear Road Trains of Thought. Let's Finally Watch This. Our sometimes
The weekly hijack.
TV hijack. We most recently did The Prisoner, which was fantastic.
That was my after show while watching it.
Yes. And that's the main thing right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it should be mentioned, you guys have an episode that is relevant to my listeners.
What is that?
Well, a certain 2005 movie with a king.
With King Kong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so season 4, our 2005 movie is King Kong, the Peter Jackson. So it'll be interesting to talk about it. I like it.
I was going to say, you've seen it before.
I enjoy it.
Because the gimmick is that at least one of you has to have not seen the
I've
movie.
seen it. Yeah, this is one I've normally, if any of us have seen it, it's been Tim. He watches more movies than I do.
Yeah, because you only watch movies when people tell you to.
Exactly, basically, yeah. So yeah, check that out. It's a good show.
Yeah, I can vouch for it for sure. I keep sending you guys suggestions and you ignore most of them.
Well, it just got they're good movies, but not compared to the other ones. Like we gotta take this one. Like we gotta take Dr. Zhivago instead of whatever. Yeah.
I know. And I'm gonna weasel my way on there as a guest at some point. You should try that just once. Just try it once.
We do one next season. You might, but yeah.
I mean, Derail Trains of Thought technically had a backdoor pilot for the show.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah.
So it's kind of funny how that works out. So yes, I also recommend that you guys check out my other podcast, Henshin Power V3, where 3 friends have 3 minutes to talk about tokusatsu, especially if you enjoy all of our talk about Ultraman, because we talk about Henshin Hero Television on there. And we have a fairly broad definition of Henshin. Just has to involve transforming superheroes, which by that logic, frickin' He-Man counts.
Yeah.
He-Man is a Henshin hero. Fight me. All right. Yeah, we're getting ready to launch season 2. And we have a lot of fun stuff planned for that. We'll be starting off with Mirai Sentai Time Ranger, which became Power Rangers Time Force.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Time travel superheroes, except they
I'll take it.
barely travel through time.
It went till Monday.
Yeah. Born on a Monday. Anyway, also check out my author website, nathanjsmarchand.com, where you can learn about all of my books. If you enjoy me as a podcaster, you'll also enjoy me as a writer. I've got kaiju books on there, one of which not technically co-authored, but you contributed
I contributed
to it.
some ideas to it,
You contributed ideas and a tie-in short story.
Yeah.
You can also learn about the Rondo nominated Big Bug Cinema, a collection of essays I contributed to. It's all about movies with giant bugs. Because I came in late, nobody else wanted it. I got Monster from Green Hell.
Nice.
Giant wasps in Africa in the 1950s. I suppose I could do worse. I'm also a frequent contributing writer to Kaiju United, so go check that out. Got a lot of interesting stuff on there. And I am a member of the stable of actors for Scyther Inc. Productions for their audio dramas, their high-quality, fan-produced audio dramas. You can hear me as my former roommate Rito on Power Rangers, the audio drama. Of all people, Deadpool on X-Men, the audio drama. And Johnny Storm, baby, on Avengers, the audio drama, when they have crossovers with the Fantastic Four.
Nice.
So there you go. Got everything covered. I don't know what you have planned for the rest of the day. It'd be cool to hang out. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Yeah.
It has been a while, and hopefully our resident Ultraman doesn't need to intervene for any reason.
No, hopefully not. I like a
yeah.
nice
That's the
calm
other
stay.
thing. I forgot to bring that up to you. We have a we have a couple of superheroes here now, including an Ultraman.
Huh. Okay. Interesting island.
So far, he has killed a fire-breathing T-Rex.
That's probably good.
Yeah, I was there when it happened. It was not fun.
No.
Not fun. Scared all the kids at the Sekizawa library.
Yeah. What does PETA think about that?
Well, it wouldn't be PETA. It would be Kita.
Oh, okay.
No, not Kita. Excuse me. It would be PETK.
Petka.
PETKA. People for the Ethical Treatment of Kaiju.
Yeah, that's true.
Better than them Scale.
Petka. Yeah.
Scale are a bunch of eco-terrorists.
Okay.
Who love kaiju a little too much. Anyway, before we get into some more deep lore cuts, Jimmy, cue the credits. Thank you for listening to the Monster Island Film Vault, a podcast produced and hosted by Nate Marchand. Our executive producer is Damon Noyes. If you want to be heard on the show, we'd love to hear from you. So, email us at monsterislandfilmvault@gmail.com or leave comments on YouTube or Spotify. Check the show notes and monsterislandfilmvault.com for Linktree links to all of our socials, including our Facebook group and Discord server, The Markalite Lounge. Be sure to follow Jimmy from NASA and our other colorful characters on X/Twitter. Our logo was created by Rebecca Hudgens. Follow her on X/Twitter and Instagram at super_R_illustrations. Sound effects sourced from freesound.org and created by JP Gant. Our theme song is Wanderer on the Offensive, live edit by B33J, Sarax, Juan Madrano, and Nonsensical Lexus, which is a remix of Counterattack and The Open Way by Koatani from Shadow of the Colossus. Our music includes Ultraman Rap, Artist Unknown, and Chant My Name, a cover by Second Archive of the song by Masaki Endo, with additional tracks from the 4Kids dub of Ultraman Tiga. All film and audio clips belong to their respective copyright holders, and no infringement is intended or implied. Visit our TeePublic store, the Monster Island gift shop, to purchase official MIFE merch. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and or Podchaser to spread the word about the show. You can even support us by joining MIFE Max on Patreon. MIFE is a Moonlighting Ninjas media production and a proud member of Pod Nation and the Culture Box Network. Sayonara!